love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal.
Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is the Week 10 live stream. It is me, Joe Pisapia. With me, as always, is my good pal, Andrew Erickson. We've got a lot to break down today. The quarterbacks that are playing, the quarterbacks that aren't playing, and what does that mean for all of those ancillary pieces connected with those quarterbacks? Well, aren't you lucky? Because you get to hang out with us and we get to answer those questions. And remember, if you've got questions, we've got answers. Drop them here in the chat. Be a subscriber. That's the only way you can get those questions answered. So let's kick things off here. Andrew Erickson. Let's start with Josh Allen, who it looks like he is going to play. So what's your confidence level in starting guys like Gabe Davis, Dawson Knox, and the rest of this Bills offense? What are your expectations?
I think that it's kind of similar to how I felt even with Case Keenum under center to an extent. You're just, there are some variants that you have to take into account with Josh Allen being the quarterback now. The matchup is obviously good on paper against the Minnesota Vikings, but you remember, even with Josh Allen being the quarterback, Gabriel Davis and Dawson Knox have been really inconsistent, even when he's been under center. So you're adding in another layer of, okay, more question marks here, factoring also the weather, which I don't think enough people are talking about in Buffalo. It's supposed to be snowing. So, it's not exactly ideal conditions for a shootout between the Vikings, who are a dome team coming in and are the most fraudulent 7-1 team that I've ever seen on paper. So I feel like this game could underwhelm from a total standpoint. If the Bills get a lead, I could see them not really pressing Josh Allen. Now you're going to start Josh Allen. He's my third-ranked quarterback, so I'm still playing him. It doesn't really matter to me. But I think that if you can get away from Gabe Davis and Dawson Knox, I would try to. But the upside is obviously still there, because if Josh Allen is the quarterback and he is healthy, well, we've seen this guy do amazing things. And so I just think that there's more risk involved with those two ancillary players. Diggs, obviously, is locked and loaded, top 5 guy.
Well, I mean, even if for some reason Josh Allen came out of this game and Case Keenum had to play, it's not like Case Keenum and Stephon Diggs haven't had some glorious moments together. So I wouldn't really panic. Case Keenum is one of the better backup quarterbacks out there, and is proven. He's been out there in the league. He's very confident, so I would be confident in him. I'm less confident about Kyler Murray with that hamstring issue and him playing. Things are certainly going in a weird direction for the Arizona Cardinals. You already have a situation where DeAndre Hopkins is probably getting shadowed by Ramsey, who has been not quite the Jalen Ramsey of old, but still Jalen Ramsey. I was very optimistic about Rondale Moore going into this week, but now with the potential for Colt McCoy, I am less optimistic. And also on the same side of the opposite side of this same game, we also have no Matthew Stafford, so John Wolford. So we could be getting Wolford and McCoy. What a fascinating, ugly, horrible set of circumstances. So I'll ask you this. What happens to the pieces of the Rams that we have? What happens to the pieces of the Cardinals we have? And how do we pivot off of them if we need to?
You weren't starting any Rams not named Cooper Kupp anyway. So I don't really think that there's much to dive into.
You might be starting
there.
Higbee.
Well, you're not anymore. There you go. There's your answer.
Okay.
I like Higbee this week too. But I'm not. He's outside my top 15. I'm not starting him if Stafford's not in the center. Just, his role has not been great the last couple of weeks. So there's already red flag there. Obviously, the matchup is divine against the Cardinals, but just too much question marks about, what type of target share he would see in this offense with a new quarterback under center, just the offense overall in general. Like, Stafford has basically shown he can support Cooper Kupp and then maybe a guy like Higbee. But I'm just not optimistic that Wolford's going to come in there and be able to do that. I mean, look, if you watch Sean McVay talk about talk about his team after any press conference after a game that they lose, he's always like, should have ran the ball more. Like, that's like what it comes out and says. It's like, we should have ran the ball
If
more.
only there was somebody who was in charge
Like,
of what we did. That would be great. What if I was in charge of what we did? That would be fantastic.
Yeah, so
I mean,
you're
they can want to run the
getting
ball all they want. The offensive line isn't very good. At the end of the day, they have not played well.
And you have now Kyron Williams coming in to be the lead back. I don't know. Like, we don't know how this backfield's going to shake out. You can't trust any of these running backs. So it's Cooper Kupp, and you bench everybody else on the Rams.
There you go. There you have it. All right. Before we go into your questions, tell me what you think of the other news that's been floating out there too all morning, because there's been some other stuff about Ezekiel Elliott potentially not playing. Obviously, Tony Pollard's already in your lineup, so from a DFS perspective, the Ross percentage is certainly going to go up. We could talk about that. We could also talk about Shaq Leonard going back on IR. We could talk about the return of TJ Watt. A lot of things going on here, but let's just try, if we can, to parse this one thing. The Colts, our expectations for them, because Pittman, Jonathan Taylor, these are all pieces that people need. Can you feel good about playing those pieces this week?
Jonathan Taylor, I think that you should feel better about. I mean, he was practicing in full this week. So again, we're not there at practice. So we can't tell you like, oh, he looks great. Like, his ankle looks fine, but the reports have been optimistic. And if I'm Jeff Saturday, I'm coming in, a former center offensive lineman. Like, what would I try to do? Okay, let's run the football. Like, our quarterback is horrible. Our offensive line can't pass protect. So what should we do? Oh, let's run the ball. Like, I really think that's probably their offensive game plan. It makes sense to me. It would make sense playing on the road. Feature their best player. Like, and just give him the ball as many times as he can handle. So Jonathan Taylor is in my top 12 this week. I think I have him at 11. So you should be starting him over most options. I don't think you have an option on your bench. You could, because there's not a lot of like plug-in guys this week where we have. I know in past weeks we've had like, oh, like you can start Deion Jackson. You can start these guys that have, Benjamin. There's not really that many players like that this week. So I think Jonathan Taylor, if you have him on your roster, you are starting him with some confidence. It's a good matchup against the Raiders. I'm not exactly afraid of their defense. And look, we talked about this before we hopped on the live stream. Like, the Raiders are pressing right now. Like, they are a team that's tightening up because they cannot lose this game. Like, Josh McDaniels is literally not going to be welcome back to the building on Monday morning. So they're going to be tense. And the Colts, yes, everyone's counting them out, but they're playing with free money right now. Like, they have nothing to lose. Jeff Saturday he literally said that as much in his opening statement with the Colts. Like, I could suck at this. Like, I don't even know. So yeah, the Colts can just kind of do whatever they want, and I think that you can find some success for them.
You can do whatever you want. If you don't have the pieces to compete, you don't. This game is either going to be 9-5 or 35-31. There's very little
no
outside
in between.
of that. I don't think there's any. I really don't. It's either going to be the worst game of the week, or it's going to be the most entertaining. And it's even if it's 35-31, it's going to be an ugly 35-31 with just mistakes everywhere. All right, let's get to your questions. And remember, today's stream is brought to you by Monkey Knife Fight. No math, no salary caps, no sharks, just daily fantasy player props. Free $5 for the first game for new signups using that promo code FantasyPros at Monkey Knife Fight. And you get 100% instant deposit match now, up to $100 on that first deposit, but only when you join the fight with Fantasy Pros as the promo code at monkeyknifefight.com. I love monkeys. I love knife fighting. I love fantasy sports. All my favorite things. Let's get to Logan Clark. Good morning. 12-team half PPR. Jared Goff or Russell Wilson. Also Green Bay defense or Arizona defense. Please help. So let's start with the defenses here, because this is probably going to be easy. Packers D or Arizona? I'm going to go with Arizona with the backup quarterback. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm going to play for a pick and maybe a sack or something like that. Green Bay's defense is down a bunch of players. I just don't feel good about them, period, as an organization right now. What are your thoughts on that? You agree or disagree?
No, I agree. I mean, Green Bay is also playing Dallas. Like, they have a good offense. Right. I mean, yeah, this one seems pretty simple to me, Arizona.
All right, next here, we got to figure out the 12-team half PPR Goff or Russell Wilson. Who are you playing this week?
I would probably say that, I mean, I think Russell Wilson maybe has a higher ceiling. I mean, Jared Goff playing in the outdoors in the cold is no bueno. I don't like that. Like, he sucks.
Well, he has not been good. Weather. Yeah. Historically, it's not been good.
So if I was shooting for more upside, like, obviously Russell Wilson is a better real life quarterback. Not really this year, but he has better weapons. He has a better matchup. So if I was shooting for some more upside, I'd probably go with Wilson. But if I want to lock in a floor, I would probably play Jared Goff.
You make a great point, though. The playing outdoors has not been a good thing for Jared Goff, especially in elements of any kind. But Russell Wilson, I have Goff ahead of Wilson, but it is close. So I agree with Andrew. Coco11, answering random people's questions like I'm a pro. Davis over Wilson. Oh, this is somebody just answering them. So Coco, that's not a question. So Coco, that's good. Good for you. Joe Windhorse, need a flex, PPR, Antonio Gibson, Jeffrey Wilson Jr., or Pickens. Best content ever. Thanks, Joel. And you're right. Full PPR. I understand the temptation of Gibson. Wilson's the floor play. Pickens has a lot of ceiling, but where do you go here? You just take your points here with Wilson?
Yeah, I'll go with Jeff Wilson.
I agree. Mark A. Jones, good morning. Love your content and my playbook. Thanks, Mark. We love you too, man. PPR, flex, pick one. Curtis Samuel, Kadarius Toney, or Khalil Herbert. It's Herbert for me, and it ain't close.
Herbert for me as well.
There you go. Robert Lavelle, our good friend Robert, always here, always supporting us here. Good morning, Fantasy Lordships. Oh, I like that. Robert, that's good. The Fantasy Lordships. Who should I start in the PPR? Gabe Davis or Alan Lazard?
I'm going with Lazard.
Agreed. He's become the new Deontay Johnson in the 5-yard pass scheme that is Aaron Jones. Aaron Rodgers. That's what we've got here. We've got the new Ben Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers. That's right, I said it. The A dot of 2.5 yards. It's fantastic. Let's go to Madeline. Thanks again for all your help. Another week. Pick one RB and one flex. Aaron Jones, Jeff Wilson, Najee, Rondell Moore, Michael Pittman, Gabe Davis. Lots of pieces here. Now, they're already starting. She's starting Jefferson and Amari Cooper. So that's good. Yes, start those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. Get an RB and a flex. You want to start Wilson and Aaron Jones is the other one and just hope for the best?
Yeah, I'd probably do Wilson and Aaron Jones.
Okay, let's go to Steven and Franco. Start 3 full PPR. Gabe Davis, Sutton, Rondell Moore, Khalil Herbert, Chase Claypool. I know my 3. What are yours?
I would probably go with Sutton, Rondell, and Khalil Herbert.
Okay, I agree.
Yes.
Human robot. Here we go. McCoy taking over a QB in Arizona makes Hopkins look iffy in full PPR. You're correct. Good assessment. Have Ayuk currently in the flex. Should I start Swift in the flex, bump Ayuk, and take out Hopkins? So basically, do you want to swap Hopkins out of your lineup for DeAndre Swift? I think I might.
Why are you so down on Hopkins? I mean, look, it's not like Colt McCoy can't throw the ball. I don't.
Yeah, but
Has Kyler been so great of a passer?
I told you, I wasn't high on Hopkins to begin with because of the Ramsey factor this week.
Okay,
because I do think he's going to shadow him.
Yeah, but Ramsey's
given up some big plays. Ramsey's given up some big plays, but Ramsey gets up for these games. You know that, and I know that. He gets up for the big time wide receivers. He likes to talk and run his mouth. I'm just saying, I don't feel great about it. So you're saying you want to keep Hopkins in, is what you're saying.
I do. I don't.
Okay, that's fine. This is why we're here. We're talking about these things. Jeff Crumpley, love the content. Joe and Andrew, full PPR. Play one. Cooks, Curtis Samuel, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Kareem Hunt. I am playing DPJ this week, and I ain't looking back.
Yeah,
let's go. All the Donovan Peoples-Jones love. Justin Howell, Tua or Fields today. PPR. My wife loves your hair, Erickson. Well, she doesn't like my hair. That's kind of insulting.
I'm the only one that has hair on the live stream.
It's not true. There's hair right here. This is a very well manicured, nice looking beard. I'm wearing a collared shirt. He's wearing a hoodie.
Enough.
Just because Andrew looks like he's in a boy band and I look like the guy that put the boy band together to make money off them and steal the money does not mean that I don't have feelings. I just have less feelings than Andrew. You can't go wrong with Tua or Fields. I would play Fields because I'm getting the rushing equity and I'm just locking it in. But maybe you think otherwise. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they're razor close. We have them ranked back to back. I think I probably stay in the flames with Fields. It's the Lions.
Okay.
Can never go wrong playing guys against the Lions, as I found.
That's right. Are you going to have any hair product endorsement deals? I'd like to see you get one of those. Like maybe, Vidal Sassoon.
Maybe one day. We'll see.
Yeah, Paul Mitchell. Andrew Erickson for Paul Mitchell. I'm a fantasy pro when it comes to my hair. Only the best for me. That's why I use this. Yeah, you're just going to hold that up. We got to get more sponsors. That's what we need. Daniel Keenan, PPR, tight end, Dulcich or Everett? Who are you starting there?
Dulcich for me.
Anthony Ramos, 18 PPR, start, sit, and flex. Start or sit and flex. I'm not sure what that means. Jonathan Taylor, Swift, Cook, ATN, Juju Smith-Schuster. So I don't know how many we get to pick here, but let's rank them in order. Is ATN your number one guy?
Well, I'd probably sit Swift. I'm just kind of going working backwards here, and then probably either Juju or Dalvin Cook, or I guess Jonathan Taylor would probably want to sit him. Just trying to get rid of risk because
Yeah,
those are all
like
good plays. So yeah,
I want
probably
to play
Swift and
Cook,
Taylor.
ETN, and Juju, and if I have an extra spot there for some reason, like I assume we're talking 2 running backs and a flex. I guess that's what we're talking about. So Cook, ETN, and Juju, I think are the safest path, don't you?
Yep,
All
agreed.
right, Dalton Witt, Gabe Davis, or George Pickens, and then Kirk Cousins or Russell Wilson.
Probably start Pickens and Kirk Cousins.
Agreed. Jake Swiftney, pick 2, non PPR, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, Alan Lazard. Who's the odd man out in the standard league?
McLaurin.
All right. Remember, everybody, if you want your question answered, you have to be a subscriber. You can only be a subscriber to ask a question here, or to make a glorious comment, or to offer us more endorsement deals, which we will consider. But if you do indeed subscribe to Fantasy Pros, our ever-growing YouTube channel, our monarchy, our kingdom here at Fantasy Pros, you could win this Amari Cooper autographed jersey thanks to our good friends at pristineauction.com. It's an amazing opportunity. And look, there it is. Beautiful, fantastic. All you have to do, again, subscribe, like the video, drop a comment, and click the bell for notifications till they go ding, so you know every time a great piece of content drops here at Fantasy Pros. And of course, if you are the big winner, we're just giving away stuff here. That's what we do. All right, let's go to Dean Gold. Morning Bros need help. PPR, flex Khalil Herbert, Wan'Dale Robinson, or Jahan Dotson. Herbert for me. How about you, Andrew?
Herbert for me as well.
There we go. I love it when it's an easy. U10 is like a very it's cut and dry here. It's just, It is what it is at this point, which is an expression I hate. Here's one from Pablo. Eli Mitchell or Swift at flex. You can't play Eli Mitchell. Like, what are you, crazy? You got to play Swift.
So always the ones that were like, you're crazy, and then Elijah Mitchell scores.
No.
No,
Bro,
yeah, I agree. Swift, yeah. Swift.
Bro, Christian McCaffrey is now the guy in San Francisco. That's it. He doesn't come out for other dudes, and Eli Mitchell's back from an injury, bro. I don't care as long as Swift's legs are both attached to him, you're playing Swift this week over him. Come on, bro. J Spank 421. I love the J Spank. Brandon Cooks or Michael Gallup. Gross. I'll let you do this one. I'd rather tear my eyes out than start either of these two guys.
Probably Brandon Cooks. I mean, if he's playing, then yeah.
If he's, let's say he's not playing, would you rather start Marvin Jones off the waiver wire than either of these guys, or Mac Hollins or one of those dudes?
Probably start Mac Hollins.
See, it's better options out there. Jeff Rogers. Herbert has a tough matchup with San Fran without his wide receiver. Should I start Derek Carr instead? Again, it's 9 points or 39 points. There's no in between here with this one. So what do you want to do? You want to roll the dice? You want to just go ahead and take Herbert and hope for the best?
I think I'll probably just stick with Herbert. Just Carr's been just like,
I would too.
Super underwhelming.
I would too. Shannon Blackburn, need to beat my undefeated husband this week. All right, Shannon, this is the most important question we're going to get this week. After losing last week with 177 points, this is why you play on Sleeper, because you can play where you play against somebody and then against the league average for that week, and you can still come away with a W. It's a great format. Check it out. See, they're not even sponsoring this one, but they're friends of ours, and I'm pushing the product because it's a good product. Let's get to this one. Need a wide receiver and a flex. Swift, El Jefe, Gabe Davis, Wan'Dale, Rondale, or Sutton. There you go. You get 2 choices. You get a PPR, flex, and a wide receiver. Who are you going in there to beat hubby?
Sutton and Jeff Wilson for me.
Sutton and helpful. I agree. I like that she calls him El Jefe. She's clearly a big fan of Derek Brown's.
Yeah.
Boogeyman. Hey, mate. Big support from Australia. Yeah. What's up, Boogie? Sutton or Devontae Smith this week? Who you want to start?
Probably going to go with Devontae Smith. The last time he played the Washington Commanders, he finished as the wide receiver 1 on the week. So I'm going to stick with that.
Here we go. Heather Mendez. Happy Sunday, guys. Happy Sunday, Heather. In need of some help, pick 2 RBs and 1 for flex. So we got Montgomery, Pollard. Well, Pollard's in. Boom. So now we only have 1 RB. Montgomery, Singletary, DPJ, Dotson, or Palmer. And she says, thanks for the help. You're the best. Thanks, Heather. You're the best for hanging out with us. We appreciate you. So I want to get DPJ in there, and I think you're going to say Montgomery, right? That's your last choice there?
Yeah, I would go Montgomery over Singletary.
So Pollard, Monty, DPJ, right, over Pollard? Over Palmer, or would you put Palmer over DPJ?
I think DPJ is just a better game environment. He's trending up. I know Palmer was really good last week, but he was playing the Falcons.
He's not playing San Fran this week.
Going to be
different.
Yeah.
Heather, I want you to come back on the stream next week, and I want you to tell us if you pounded your husband into submission here with fantasy sports, and you've embarrassed him, and now you can drag him here publicly on the show next week. So Heather, good luck. We want you to win. We're rooting for you. Let's go. Roy Lara, PPR, Rondell Moore, Cortland Sutton, or DJ. Pick one.
Sutton for me.
Andrew Erickson, Truther. Here we go, Andrew. Andrew Erickson, Truther wants to know DPJ or Palmer in my flex spot today. Thanks, guys.
DPJ is the guy this week. Like he's the popular play in DFS. He should be in your flex. Like I know, like sometimes we miss on these flex guys, but sometimes they hit. And I think that's this week is good for DPJ. So I'm gonna roll with the analysis here for him.
On the start sit pod last couple weeks, we've been crushing the flex guys. Palmer, Terrace Marshall, DPJ. I mean, like these keep hanging out, man. We got this. We got this. Kofi Abasa. Hey guys, Rondell or Swift in the flex. Who are you starting this week?
I think it really depends on. He doesn't list the format here. I can only imagine starting Rondell over Swift if it was full PPR. Every other format, I'd probably just go Swift.
Okay, let's go to Ben Moronable. Hey guys, full PPR. Boy, lots of Swift questions. Everything is Swift and DPJ this morning. Swift, Wilson, Mostert, or Mooney. Thanks from Australia. That's 2 Aussies. Oi, oi, oi. All right, let's go to, it's definitely Wilson. You want to go Wilson and Mooney? Or are you going to go something else?
Is it starting 2 guys or just, he doesn't say, does it?
It's full PPR. Well, I don't know. Who's your number 1 guy? Is it Wilson?
Yeah.
Who's your number 2 in case he needs a second one?
Probably Swift.
All right. Kayla, aloha, guys. Love your show. And I need to start 2 of the following. Gabe Davis, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Wan'Dale Robinson, or Kadarius Toney in a standard. Mahalo. Mahalo, Kayla, from Hawaii. I love how worldwide we are. It's so great. What do we want to do here? We've got 2 of the following here. So DPJ, we want to get in there. It's a standard league. So do you want to go to Gabe Davis and just play the touchdown game with him?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Wan'Dale is like, I think that he might be like useless in standard formats, honestly. So yeah, you got to go with Gabe Davis. The big play upside is just super key for standard formats.
Football lover, half PPR, Michael Pittman Jr. or Cortland Sutton. Which way you want to go on that one?
Cortland Sutton. It's Sutton week, guys. I had a dream that Sutton had over 200 receiving yards last night, so it's gonna happen.
And yeah. Any other dreams you want to talk about here on the show?
That was the only dream I had.
I'm charging you by the hour, but we could talk about all your other dreams you have. I hope your dream is a reality. I do. I'd love to see a big Cortland Sutton day so you can come in. You know, you walk like old school.
So I don't have to come with the white flag to the podcast.
Yeah, like, no chance. That's what you got. There's Andrew walking into work on Monday morning at the Cortland Sutton stuff, you know, knocking things over in the office, pushing people's faces, walking around like he's all tough, you know, on his way to the coffee machine. Legos GBS. Hello, guys. Full PPR. Started Mike Evans, Jacobs. On the flex, should I start Devonta Smith, Curtis Samuel, Cortland Sutton, or Brandon Ayuk? And Lego says, thank you.
I'm still Devonta Smith for me.
Okay, Sommer Morgan, tough call in a must-win game. Every game is a must-win game. That's why we play. Half PPR, pick 2, McLaurin, Henderson, Elijah Mitchell. What's with the Elijah Mitchell stuff? Am I missing something? Did I not get the memo about Elijah Mitchell? What are we doing here?
Well, he's playing. Like that's
I don't care.
Yeah.
He's playing behind Christian McCaffrey against the...
Well, they're playing the Chargers, who are the league's worst run defense.
This is the stress ball. I'm going to squeeze a stress ball. I want you to take the rest of this question because I can't do this. I'm playing McLaurin. That's one. You pick the other one because I need to bring the level down. Like,
yeah, these are kind of gross options though. I guess I would try to I guess I'd roll the dice on Kyron Williams and hope that he gets like the majority of touches in that backfield. It's a total question mark. I mean, Isaiah McKenzie is a good matchup in the slot, so I probably actually would lean towards McKenzie if I was trying to shoot for some upside. But I mean, this Rams backfield is a total disaster, and you can't really start Elijah Mitchell. So
if I get one more Elijah Mitchell question, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to lose it.
You could just skip it.
Nope.
I refuse to answer any Elijah Mitchell questions.
Sometimes we need tough love here on the program. Just telling you it's going to happen. Tanner B, PPR, Pickens or Sutton, Kittle or Everett. I think you got to play Kittle over Everett, right?
Yeah, Kittle over Everett.
Okay,
and
so
then
Kittle over Everett. We got that
Sutton.
one easy. You're going to play Sutton over Pickens. I'm playing Pickens over Sutton because I live in reality where not in the dream state Andrew Erickson does, where Cortland Sutton does nothing every week.
Well, Pickens
Eric
did nothing last time he
Dubé,
played, so just saying.
against the Eagles, he gets one pass. When he does it 3 weeks in a row, I'll talk about him like Cortland Sutton. Yeah. Eric Dubé. Is it time to drop Keenan Allen? Sure. I mean, if you don't have IR spots, I mean, what are you doing here?
Dude, he's not like, this is a lost season. Like, it's over. It's like the Darren Waller's, like, just move. If you can't trade him, if you can't.
Can we get an in memoriam up for certain guys' seasons next week where we just like, we play the sad music and we play Keenan Allen stats from last year and Darren Waller's, best season and all that stuff? I want to do that with some sad music. Let's talk to Chris about that. Maybe we can make that happen. Nick says, love you, Joe. Look, see, the people love me. Love you too, Nick. PPR, pick 2, Palmer, Pickens, Judy, Sutton, Samuel. Thanks, guys. All right. So what do you want to do here? Who are you playing? You're playing Sutton. I know you're playing. Who's the other guy?
I don't like to double down with Broncos wide receivers.
Oh,
unfortunately.
No. I will split with you. I'll do Pickens and Sutton. All right.
Yeah.
Let's not get crazy here. How many Broncos can we start at once and feel good about ourselves? Brian Denman, Rondale Moore or Michael Pittman in the half PPR?
Probably still go with Rondale. I mean, if you're right about Jalen Ramsey shadowing Hopkins, then Moore should be the benefit of that,
I
right?
loved him. Look, I told you Moore was my dude going into the week, but now Colt McCoy is a downgrade. Okay, I don't get
but Rondale Moore, all of his targets are near the line of scrimmage. So like, how does it really matter that it's Colt McCoy versus Kyler? Okay,
I think Rondale outscores Hopkins this week. Hot take. There you go.
In what format? I think the format
Anthony
matters.
Perkins, all formats. How's that?
Standard?
Sure.
Right.
I'm feeling spry. Let's go. Anthony Perkins, pay pros of the fantasy. For quarterback this week, Cousins or Garoppolo, more upside needed.
Garoppolo. It's not even close.
Really? For the upside?
Just Garoppolo. Okay, you're talking about Christian McCaffrey.
I'm not saying no. You were just so quick to it.
McCaffrey, Ayuk, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Elijah Mitchell. Oh my God, he has all these dudes.
Stop.
So
Cousins has Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson. Now he's got TJ Hawkinson. He's got Adam Thielen, sort of, kind of.
He's playing outside a dome team in the snow.
Okay.
Like,
it's not Monday night.
It's Kirk Cousins. Like, come on.
I just like winding you up sometimes. It's fun. Roy Lara, Joey P with no Murray. Should I sit Rondo Moore for Deontay Johnson or Cortland Sutton? Andrew? I'll let you do this.
Sutton. That's fine.
I think it's fine. What is it about? Why Sutton over Judy this week? Just curious.
The Titans have been worse against perimeter wide receivers than.
But aren't you worried that the Titans really drag you down to their level, make you play in the muck, and they just ugly football, and that's already a Denver offense that's ugly to begin with? Doesn't that concern you?
I mean, it's not like he's locked and loaded top 12. I mean, people need wide receiver 3. That's what Cortland Sutton really kind of is. I don't know. Like, it's a good matchup. And
I'd play Rondale Moore. That's where I'm at right now. The more we talk, the less I like Cortland Sutton. I don't know how that's happening. Roberto de Regil, greetings from Germany. Roberto's hanging out in Germany, watching the games this morning. Before I came in, I saw Julio Jones score a touchdown. That was fun. It was a nice play, too. It's good. Well executed. What a nice change of pace for the Bucs offense. Half PPR facing Brady and Fournette. Flex Rondo Moore or Mooney. I don't know what's going on in that game now because we're here.
Well, I assume that they're doing well.
I assume because he put like a weird
frowny face.
It's like a frowny. Is it frowny? Yeah, it's frowny.
Frowny.
It's very frowny.
Like looks like in pain.
So Moore or Mooney. What do you want to do in the half PPR?
I mean, probably Mooney. I really don't think it matters. I mean, like if you're losing by a lot, I mean, you want to score points regardless. So I don't really think that the difference between, the quarterback downgrade, I guess, could theoretically lower Moore's ceiling. So I guess Mooney would be the guy I'd want. So.
All right. If you want to score some points, head over to our Discord. See what I did there? FantasyPros.com/chat. Free to join. We've got our touchdown call channel where you can play a game every single week. The winner of the week gets $25 to our Fantasy Pro shop. It's fun to do. You pick a couple guys to score touchdowns. It's just that simple. Hearts 24K still at the top of 48 overall, but we're giving away Stephon Diggs autographed jersey as well. But don't think it's week 10. I can't play. Yes, you can. Every week we're giving away prizes, so go check it out and join our Discord community, fantasypros.com/chat. We're getting to playoff time where you need the extra help or the extra push. We can give that for you with our Fantasy Pros community, so go hang out with us. Joe Chaperon Sear, big fan of the show. PPR, flex, Khalil Herbert or Michael Pittman? I'm going with Herbert. That's where I'm going today.
I agree. Herbert.
There we go. Let's go to, I'm going to try to say this, Ketsian. Ketsian? What do you think, Andrew? You want to take a crack at this? Ketsian? Like Travis Ketsian? Taysom, Dawson Knox, Tyler Higbee, Foster Moreau, pick 2, PPR tight end premium. I hate tight end premium, so I'll let you do this. Stupid idea.
I'm just gonna play Taysom just because I think that he just offers a different package than the other guys can offer. So
Okay.
I think just having him as one of your tight ends, and then I'll probably go with Foster Moreau. He just has the most consistent role in his offense. The Raiders are down a bunch of pass catchers. They're playing the Colts, so if the Colts try to just like, okay, we got to just focus on stopping Devontae Adams, Moreau is the next best guy there with Matt Collins. So I would go with Moreau.
Okay, Showtime full PPR, 1 flex, Pickens or Khalil Herbert. I also have Mooney. Thoughts? Full PPR, Pickens or Khalil?
Probably go with Pickens actually over Herbert.
Because of the Mooney? Because having too much Bears?
Not really. I just think in the full PPR, I mean, we like Herbert a lot this week, but
Yeah,
I also know that he has if they just decide to not give him enough touches, which is still possible, they just give it to Montgomery, then you're just kind of like left holding the bag because Herbert doesn't really catch passes either. So full PPR, I think Pickens should see a bump in usage week after the bye and no Chase Claypool.
Anoy, DJ, wide receiver Pittsburgh, or Michael Pittman, wide receiver Indianapolis in a standard league.
I'm going to go with Deontay Johnson can only see so many red zone targets and never score. Eventually he's going to have to score. So
I'm with you.
I'll go with Deontay.
Pretty aight. What up, my dudes? With Josh Allen playing, should I start Kirk over Fields in a full PPR? No.
Wait,
you
what?
still play Fields, regardless.
Wait. Is he talking about like Christian? Well, I'm confused here.
I don't know. It's a weird thing. I guess they're saying, should I? It feels like I'm worried about the potential for a shootout. I think what you're doing is a super flex here. We're talking about Fields or Kirk, and he's saying because Allen's playing, should I play Kirk because that could be a shootout? No, you play Fields because he's rushing for a gazillion yards every single game, and you keep playing that till it goes boom. That's what I say.
Yeah, I mean, Kirk Cousins.
You're overthinking it. Pretty.
Kirk Cousins could be playing 2007 Tom Brady, and I would still start Justin Fields.
Iggs Terminator. Half PPR, need a flex. Gibson or Tony? Bonus for the touchdown of a long run, by the way, if that matters to you. And he says, Dankeschön.
Gibson for me. You got to keep playing Gibson, especially with McKissick out. There's just a ceiling where he can get a lot of receptions. And look, Tony, I was bumping up Tony on Twitter earlier this week after they ruled out McCole Hardman. But look, it could be they use Sky Moore more. They just throw the ball to Juju more. Like, there's still a lot of question marks about how the team is going to use Kadarius Toney. And even if he takes over McCole Hardman's role, you know, Joe, how many weeks have we come on here and be like, yep, you got to start McCole Hardman this week because we know exactly how they're going to use him. So Tony is definitely more of a bigger wild card.
Yeah, I would agree with that wholeheartedly. Muscle Love Labs, I have to flex Samuel or Hollins, half PPR. I know Erickson isn't high on Samuel. Ha! Muscle Love Labs says, thoughts for this week. Thanks as always, guys. So what do you want to do here? You want to play Samuel or Hollins?
I think that in this particular case, I'll still go with Curtis Samuel.
I think you have to. But
yeah.
I get the question. I think
I know one of the Eagles slot cornerback, I believe Avonte Maddox is banged up. So I think that he's questionable for the game. So if that can ease things up for Samuel in the slot.
Mm-hmm. Doc JB, hi guys, thanks for the content. Half PPR, pick one between Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones as flex. Have a great day and good luck for your fantasy. Thanks, Doc. I still go with what I know, which is Dalvin Cook. I mean, I don't know about Aaron Jones' health, and God knows about
just
the Packers.
Fade the Packers. Just don't if you've just been fading the Packers all year, you have benefited greatly. So
the Packers were done in Washington several weeks ago. When they went into Washington and couldn't beat the Commanders, that's when it was over. You put the nails, you put them in the coffin, and you send it out.
And
That
then
was it.
now
Over.
everyone's on board because they lost to the line. Now everyone's like, oh, okay, like they are really this bad. Like,
Yeah,
yes.
no kidding. They were bad when they lost to the Commanders.
Yep.
Just because they're home now does not mean they're going to beat the Cowboys. If they do, I will give them all the credit Monday. I don't think I'm going to have to do that segment. Amanda Howell, Swift or Hunt, PPR. Erickson, if you get a hair deal, I want royalties. This is from the wife. So Amanda's also. So we got, the question is, are they watching this together or they're watching it on separate devices and asking questions of us, which is pretty hilarious. So, so Amanda is already having a royalty deal. On top of that, Swift or Hunt this week. I think you got to play Swift over Hunt, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, Hunt's one of these guys where you're hoping that the game script works like in his favor. That's like, oh well, the Browns are down, the Dolphins put up points, they have to use Hunt more in the passing game. But like we think in our minds, like, oh, this will play out exactly how I want it to, and then it just doesn't. And then you're kind of like, well, Hunt did nothing again. Whereas Swift, look, we don't know what his workload's going to be like, but dude, when the guy touches the ball, it's fireworks. So as long as he gets more touches than he did last week, even if it's like 10 touches for DeAndre Swift, I mean, the guy could get 100 yards on 10 touches. He got 50 yards on 5 touches last week. So.
I know. Well, that's why I still like playing Swift. I'll tell you what, too, man. Like, it's a weird spot here because I understand why they didn't play Hunt for weeks because of the trade deadline. But after the trade deadline, I don't understand why we're not playing Hunt anymore. Like,
I mean, yeah, he saw more work a little bit like on that Monday night game, like right before the trade deadline. So like at that point, but yeah,
this much. Very little. All right, let's go to Super Mario 91. 12-man PPR. Start 2, Jonathan Taylor, Jamal Williams, Antonio Gibson, Raheem Mostert. So you want to start Taylor, I assume. Who's the other one?
Taylor and Jamal Williams for me. Like, look, I mean, the Bears just bleed rushing touchdowns to running backs, and that's all Jamal Williams does is score rushing touchdowns. So I think he's probably a strong bet to score this week. So I'm going to go with Williams and Taylor.
Chris DeSante, watching from Sweden. Excellent, Chris. Fantastic. Need help at wide receiver. Pick 2, Jerry Jeudy, Pickens, or Palmer?
Pickens for me.
Okay. John Hairston, need 2, Gabe Davis, Pittman Jr., Pickens, DJ.
Need 2. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I would. So we like.
I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but I'm rolling with the Steelers.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to approach it.
Just go all in. That's what I would do.
Yeah. And then if you had to take out one of the Steelers, would you take out Pickens or Deontay?
I would. Oh, God, I don't want to take out either. That's why I'm going with them.
Right.
Like I'm just not. I'm not.
That was a test.
It was a test.
You passed.
So proud. Okay, let's go to Chris McCoy. PPR flex Jamal Williams, Jerry Jeudy, or Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson for me, buddy. How about you?
I think I like Jamal. I still like Jamal.
You still like Jamal, huh? You're a big fan of the Jamal. All right. Jeff Blackburn. Good morning, good sirs. Half PPR, 1 flex and quarterback. Gabe Davis, DeAndre Carter, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and then Kirk Cousins or Wilson. Already have Jefferson in. So if you have Jefferson, you're playing Cousins.
Yeah.
Don't overthink that. Period. I'm sorry.
So you're saying that you should embrace the stack?
I'm saying that if you already have Wilson, I mean if you already have Jefferson, you are committed. So over Russell Wilson against the Titans D, like I said, it's ugly football. I'm not.
Like, I mean, I guess like if you don't have to beat remember, this isn't like he needs to have his like 99th percentile outcome. He just needs to beat the guy he's playing this week. So I still think
Cousins gives you the better outcome.
You could hedge.
So you've got Wilson ahead of Cousins this week.
I think they're ranked back to back. I mean, I just like don't like Kirk Cousins playing on the road in Buffalo in the snow.
That's fine. We can disagree. I'm going to play Kirk Cousins over Russell Wilson this week. Any week. Russell Wilson has not done it for me. What about the other ones? 1 flex out of this spot. Gabe Davis, DeAndre Carter, or DPJ. It's DPJ, right?
Well, I mean, if you're embracing this, I mean, if you want Kirk Cousins and Jefferson to do good, then you figure that someone on the Bills side is gonna have to do something good too. Then
but I don't need to figure that person's Gabe Davis. I don't think I need that variance.
Okay,
that's where I think you go wrong, is trying to play DFS in the season long lineup in this one. I don't think you do that. I think you take DPJ and just take those points and you get out of town.
Get out of town, but DPJ.
Monica Herrera. Good morning, fellas. Appreciate you guys. PPR, please pick 1 for the flex. Sutton or Jonathan Taylor. And she has in parentheses,
Well,
we
I'm
know what
I'm
Andrew's
sorry,
going to
Monica. You're
say.
wrong. You're wrong.
And by the way, I don't
I
have Elijah Mitchell. Thank you,
am
Monica.
starting
You're a
Jonathan
sane human
Taylor.
being. Thank
I'm
goodness
starting
for
Jonathan Taylor over Cortland Sutton.
See?
Yeah.
See, there's a threshold, Monica. Andrew might be
I
nutty,
try
but
not
he's
to
not
be.
crazy.
I try not to be super blind into player. I mean, look, I'm trying my best, so I would still go with Taylor.
At the end of the day, aren't we all? We're just all trying our best here. Brett Linus, good morning, guys. Need a flex half PPR. Pollard, Lazard, Swift, McLaurin, or Mooney. If you only need one, then it's Pollard this week.
Oh yeah, I mean, even if Zeke play, I mean, like Zeke's clearly not 100%. Like Zeke might like be active, maybe. Joe, do you have like a gut feeling on Zeke if he's going to be active? I know they activated
Yeah.
what's his face, Olsen, off the practice squad. So
I'll never forget what's his face. Quadri Allison?
Yeah.
That's who they activated?
Well, I'm just saying, so it's like they wouldn't have activated him if they knew Zeke was going to play.
Zeke ain't right. Zeke ain't good. That's a bad combination. And he's
Well,
touchdown dependent anyway, so it's Pollard all the way for me.
Let's go.
Nick Mack, Rashad White. Well, he's already playing, so it's a little late for that. Harris or Brian Robinson full PPR. So
wait, Damian Harris? He's on a bye.
Yeah,
week.
well, he's on a bye. And
So
then
by Brian Robinson it is by default.
Well, that was the easiest question we'll ever answer.
We
Nick,
can't be wrong.
because-
Unless Brian Robinson scores negative points. So and in which case we will be wrong.
Ken's junk page. Have PPR Sutton or Pollard?
Pollard. Stop teasing me with these Sutton questions.
Oh, I was teasing you with Ken's junk page. I thought that's what I was teasing. Jamie Cargo, Kyler out, Wilson, Goff, or Daniel Jones, 6 point per touchdown. I'm playing Daniel Jones. Let's go.
Yeah, I agree. Daniel Jones.
Zach Zulo, pick 2, full PPR, Curtis Samuel, Khalil Herbert, DeAndre Carter, or Mostert.
Herbert for me. And probably Mostert.
Agreed. Prodigy, good morning, boys. Hope you're well. Need some help. Would you start Khalil Herbert, Rondell Moore, or Dulcich in the flex half PPR? I'm starting Herbert in the half, taking my points.
Yeah, take Herbert.
Grant LA. I know Herbert was disappointing last week, but that's because Fields rushed for 174 yards. Do we think it's going to happen 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah, I think that there's a pretty likely scenario where the Bears passing game could just not be that good because the Bears just run the ball because that's what they've been doing all year long, like running with their running backs. So yeah, I think that the Bears running backs are kind of just being undervalued, and I think you should feel fine starting them. And again, guys, it's the Lions. It's the Lions.
Oh, by the way, Andrew Erickson Truther writes in the chat because I see this from Mike Mayer. Are Joey P and Andrew Erickson on long-term Fantasy Pros contracts? If not, lock them up right now. I agree. You just lock us up for. What do you want to settle? You want to do the 5-year deal? You want to have the opt-out after 3, or you want to do the 5-year? What do you want to do?
Do the 5-year deal with the opt-out.
Let's do the 5-year deal.
Yeah.
We'll do the player option.
I want the player-friendly contract.
Is that what you want? I want all the money guaranteed. That's all I ask for. That's all I want. Let's go to Grant LA. Full PPR. Start Sutton or Palmer in the flex.
I like Sutton more than Palmer, so
Mama Sue. Mama Sue needs a new pair of shoes. Full PPR flex. Gabe Davis, Tony, or Hawkinson. Kittle's already playing tight end. I kind of like Hawkinson here. I'm not gonna lie.
Go double tight end. Yeah. I mean, Hawkinson, like, it's hard to ignore, like, how good he was in his first game. I mean, Thielen is kind of fading away, and they got Hawkinson for a reason. Like, in his first game, he had 9 for 9. Like,
I didn't think you would get on board with this, but I'm there. I'm there.
Yeah, the rare double tight end in the flex.
We've had the double Steelers and the double tight end here, and it's only 11:15 in the morning. Let's go.
They're getting wild.
It's a weird week 10. Pond Loco, flex half PPR, Gerald Everett or James Conner. Please help.
I think I'll just take the touches with James Conner.
Yeah, I think you play Conner, especially if you get in McCoy. You're going to have to run the football. John Peterson, 3-6. Help Gabe Davis or Swift in the standard.
Standard. I'm still going to go with Swift.
Okay. L. Sankey, PPR flex pick 2. Gabe Davis, Najee, Jarvis Landry, Burks, Brian Davis, and Tony.
Who is Brian Davis?
I was going to say.
Is he, I'm not familiar
Brian
with him.
Davis? Now you're just making up people to see if we're paying attention now, folks. We know what we're doing.
Um,
Fantasy Pros. Okay. I don't know who Brian Davis
I'm
is.
probably
And
just
if I
gonna start.
do, then I'm not starting him.
I'm starting
Even if I
Gabe. I'm starting
did.
Gabe and Najee. Unfortunately,
What I imagine is he meant to say Brian Robinson or something like that and just type Davis twice because he already had Gabe Davis and it was on his mind. That's what I think happened to Sankey there. I think Sankey was hanging out late last night with Troy at the Hard Rock and they were having fun, throwing back a couple, and this is what happens. So who are you starting in this group?
Gabe and Najee.
Yeah, it's not a great situation though. Let's go to the next one here from Austin Napier. Have a great Sunday, guys. Full PPR, Everett or Komet today.
Everett for me.
Nick Mack, help drop Damian Harris for Rashad White. Well, again, you can't. It's already happened. He's already playing. Or Brian Robinson. Would you drop Damian Harris for either of those two guys? Let's say on Wednesday.
I mean, for Rashad White, yeah, but the Buccaneers are also on a bye week, so it really depends on like what if you're looking for. Like Rashad White's the best stash out of those players, but I mean, like I said, you can't play him now because he's playing right now. Can't play him next week because the
11 for
Buccaneers are on a
33
bye.
for Rashad White right now, and he's got no receptions. So
It's 11 carries.
Fournette, he has 11 carries, but Fournette has 14 for 57 and a touchdown.
Whew,
So
Lenny's on fire.
Yeah, Lenny. Let's go to Connor Wade. Please help. Pick one Davis. I assume Gabe, unless it's Brian Davis.
It's Brian Davis. Dude, some guy named Brian Davis is going to score today, and we'll be like, oh, there he was.
Like, well, look at that. That guy was a genius. Davis, Wandale, Warren, Pacheco got beat by my girlfriend's dad this week, and I don't want to go. If I don't get a win, I got to take him out to dinner. Oh, he doesn't. Gotta beat my girlfriend's dad. Sorry about that. Okay, so here we go. Dinner's on the line here. You got to pick one. Davis, Warren, Pacheco, Wandale.
If dinner's on the line, there's only one way to go here. You got to go big, and that's Gabriel Davis.
Yeah, Gabe Davis or go home. Take him out to a nice dinner somewhere. Don't go taking him to like, Applebee's. No chain restaurants. You go to a nice regular restaurant somewhere. That's what you do. All right, let's go to Luis Miguel Moreno. Thanks, guys, for the advice. 7-2. Nice. Please choose one for the flex and PPR. Jamal Williams, Swift, Pickens, or Singletary. Well, not Singletary. You're going to say Jamal, aren't you? Even though it's PPR.
Probably. Yeah. Okay. I like the touchdown. Like, touchdowns are good.
I like touchdowns, too. Everybody likes touchdowns. Jeffrey Paradis. Hey, boys. Awesome job. Need two in the full PPR. Pittman, Mooney, Cooper, Thielen. Well, Cooper's definitely in. Who do you want in the other one? Mooney or Pittman? Mooney. I agree. Thomas Perez, Sam Ellinger, or Colt McCoy?
Texas forever. Colt McCoy.
Hook 'em horns. Boy, Texas crapped the bed last night. Boy, oh boy.
Actually, they're both from Texas. I
yeah, I was going to say, what are you talking about?
I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, Colt McCoy, but still Colt
Was that your way of not answering the question because it's gross?
I'm sorry. Just like every time I see Colt McCoy, I just automatically think Texas, and I don't think that. With Sam Ellinger, I just think automatically gross.
Is there more of I don't think there's ever been a more Texas-sounding quarterback name than Colt McCoy. Like, that is...
I mean, the fact that he plays on the Arizona Cardinals is just not... It's not great for Colt McCoy's brand.
Has he been in the league a decade now?
Oh,
right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's got to be a decade.
I'm trying to remember the class he was in, because he was like... he got some decent steam coming.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
He was a good college quarterback, and he's had his moments in the NFL. I'm pretty sure he beat the Patriots like as a rookie in the Browns.
Colt McCoy's been around for a very long time. Roll the dice. Pick a wide receiver, full PPR. Rondell Moore, Sutton, Peoples-Jones, or Elijah. Oh, here we go. Elijah Mitchell. Here we go.
Well, I mean, he did put the shade emoji in there.
So he's just throwing shade? It doesn't really mean it. All right, fine. Fine, roll the dice.
They all just start putting Elijah Mitchell in.
Just squeezing away. Rondell Moore, Sutton, Peoples-Jones. I want to play Peoples-Jones. You want to play Sutton. Okay.
Yep.
I'm right. He's wrong. Dale Clark, flex, Chris Olave or Amari Cooper. This is a tough one. They're right close to each other for me.
I still like Olave. He's just... I don't know. I guess the only reason I can think of to not like Amari Cooper as much are these like bizarre road home splits for Amari Cooper. He just doesn't do great when he doesn't sleep in the dog pound and he has to sleep in these like hotels. So I'll just go with Olave.
Not a hotel guy. Not a hotel guy. Elijah Hardy, GM, Khalil Herbert or Devonta Smith, half-point PPR.
Devonta.
Ashley Johnson, hello from Nova Scotia. Yeah. Half PPR, Cortland Sutton or Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Oh, we disagree on this, so we
We
can't
do.
help
We
Ashley.
do. I'm playing Donovan Peoples-Jones because I like points, and Andrew just likes Cortland Sutton. 518 Honcho. Need help. Lamar's on a bye. Start Jacoby Brissett, Jared Goff, or Danny Dimes. I'm going to start Danny Dimes. How about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna start Danny Dimes. I do like so do you like Jacoby Brissett
I
at
do.
all though? Okay, you
I
do.
do.
All right, cool.
I like him a lot. Actually, here's the problem. Here's where I feel uncomfortable about this. Jones is the right play because analytically, every single sign says you got to give it a shot. However, every time we're in one of those games, he fails and lets me down. And that's what drives me crazy about Daniel Jones. And then you play him against like the Eagles or somebody like that, where you're like, I don't want to touch this guy. And he has a good game and it drives you nuts.
Well, it's because of the rushing, because he'll like rip off
Right.
the big run, and that'll like
So
obviously inflate
that's
his
the
points.
problem here. I would still start Jones, but look, I understand the question. This is a real problem here.
But both of them
Like,
over Goff though, not Goff.
yes,
I
not
don't
Goff.
like Goff in the weather.
Hashtag
Is
not Goff.
it's
Hashtag
just
never
bad.
Goff.
It's just
Hashtag
bad noise.
right.
I don't like it.
Frankie Postal. I've got quite the debacle. Full PPR, one wide receiver, one flex. Debo, Palmer, Olave, Herbert. Starting Olave.
Two guys. Yeah, Olave's in. I mean, I'm rolling with Debo. I mean, I get he's coming back from the injury, but like I want to play 49ers. Like, yes, could it be an Ayuk week? Could McCaffrey get all the points? Like, that's possible, but I think that trying to like, oh well, they're gonna score too many points, and like Debo's not gonna get involved enough. Like, that's bad process. Like, if they're gonna score a lot of points, you just want to play guys in that game. So I'm gonna go with Debo here and Olave.
Somebody's body did not adjust well to the German time zone because do you see the Kenneth Walker line in this game? Just looking at it now. 7 carries for 8 yards.
It's because the Buccaneers brought back Akeem Hicks.
That's all it took.
He's shutting him down.
Johnny Bananas, full PPR, need one. Rondell Moore, Kadarius Toney, Treylon Burks. Rondell Moore for me, and I'm not looking back.
Yeah, I mean, the other guys, Rondell Moore is going to play all the snaps. I know that, and I don't know what the other dudes are going to even do. So, more for me.
David Farkas, Mostert, Cooks, or Robinson in the flex, and then full PPR have Wilson Jr. as RB2 already. So, if you already have Wilson, would you just go all in with Mostert too and just try to hope you get everything against the Cleveland Browns? Or would you play Cooks or Robinson? I would play all in.
Yeah, I'd play both Dolphins running backs. Yeah. I mean, like, look, obviously, like, you cap your ceiling a little bit, but it's not like Cooks or Brian Robinson are, like, out there be like, yeah, like, you want to play me? I'm going to get
They're not out there in the streets making a conversation for themselves. No argument
like,
to be had.
They have the sign that says, please start me so I don't go home, so I don't go hungry.
Will flex for food. Riley Cott, full PPR, Sutton or Lazard?
I still have Lazard.
Agreed. Joe 96, Melvin Gordon or Eno Benjamin? I don't like these options.
I gotta start.
I don't either, Joe.
I gotta start Melvin. Like Melvin Gordon's one of these guys where it's like I have to like stop lowering him in my rankings because I can't move him any lower because I just know by default he has to get some points because he's going to start and play. The matchup's obviously brutal against the Titans, but Eno is the backup to James Conner, and now they have a backup quarterback in, so I will go with Melvin Gordon.
Daniel J. Hampshire. Hey, fellas, need a flex. Palmer, Sutton, Juju, or Jeff Wilson. Y'all haven't let me down left. So I don't know what the format is here. I would play Juju.
Yeah, because doesn't matter to me.
He's been excellent these last 3
standard,
times.
Maybe Jeff Wilson, but yeah.
In a standard, okay. But otherwise, Juju. Yeah. Chris Hunter, Kyler out. My options are Goff or Cousins. I'm playing Cousins. Next.
Yep.
Haravalaba Raparla. Or HR, as I like to call him. CeeDee Lamb or D-Hop in the full PPR. I'm playing CeeDee Lamb.
It's fine. Yeah, I'll play CeeDee Lamb.
It's fine. He's got his quarterback. It's fine. You're right. It's fine. Who Dat Nation? Half PPR. Dotson, Judy, Palmer, Rondell. Start 2.
Rondell and I'll roll with Judy.
All right, there you go. Don't forget, everybody, if there's an opportunity where, you need help and we're not available by some reason, or if you're not able to make the live stream, there's always my playbook that's available for you at fantasypros.com/myplaybook. This is the most crucial time of year to have the right tools to make those playoff runs, into championship runs, and we can do that with you. With my playbook, download the app today over at the Apple or Google Play Store. You can make that work for you. Download it, sync all your teams for free. Go premium at fantasypros.com/offers and get 6 free months when you make a deposit in one of our partner sites. That's the way to go, so you can utilize all the tools, but go check it out for free. Again, over at My Playbook. This is the nitty-gritty time. This is the time that separates the playoff teams from the non-playoff teams. This is the time to get in on the Fantasy Pros tools. Use them. They're great. They will help you. There you go. Let's go to Ken Varisco. Would you go ahead to start Pacheco over Zeke and not risk Zeke being inactive? I think you do.
Yeah, I mean, if Pacheco's your only other option, I mean, I ideally I like someone else than Pacheco, but
Better than a zero.
McKinnon's banged up, so he may not play. Ronald Jones might play this game. You can't play Zeke, right? I have to actually adjust like where Zeke is ranked. Like I have to move him significantly.
I haven't thought about Ronald Jones in a long time.
He's literally been like, it's weird. It's like how bad the Chiefs running backs have been, and then he's been inactive every single week.
Jeff Dudek, half PPR, flex Rondell, Mooney, or Sutton?
Half PPR. I'm gonna go with Sutton.
Scott Baines, need two. Olave, Christian Kirk, or Debo?
Olave.
Agreed. And Bruce Nowak.
Oh, it needs two. Sorry.
Oh, Olave and I want to play healthy guys. I want to play Kirk.
Kirk is safer, yeah. Debo is just
Bruce, help in the PPR, flex Najee Harris, Devin Singletary, Terry McLaurin, or pick up George Pickens. I think you play McLaurin over, those picks there. I would drop Singletary for Pickens anyway. Now, if you can.
Well, I mean, depends on the running backs. If he doesn't have any running backs, then
if he doesn't have running backs, I'm over it. Jack Pusa, pick one. PPR, Rondo Moore, Pittman, Gabe Davis.
Oh, Rondo Moore.
Bernie Rapp, Walker is not playing as well as I had hoped. No kidding. We just looked at the line. Oh, God. I hope he has that one big run for 50. Otherwise, it's going to be a very, very bad day. So now I'm unsure of my flex between DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams, Zeke, or Deontay Johnson, full PPR. I guess you got to throw Swift out there and hope for like some boom, right? Or no, you want to just keep playing it safe?
I guess for me, like boom, I'm thinking he needs like a guy that can score more. I mean, it's weird. So Jamal Williams has like never scored like a game with one touchdown. He like all of his touchdown games are like multiple touchdown games. So it's like 2, 3, 2.
That's what I mean. He's the monster.
So yeah, I would go with, Jamal, you need the touchdowns. So I would go with Jamal Williams.
So it is now, let's see, what time is left? We are now towards the end of the third quarter. Kenneth Walker did have another run. So now he is 8 carries for 12 yards. So
huzzah.
There you go.
What's the score?
3 receptions for 12, though. It is 14-3, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Seattle's just getting
Seattle's just getting it handed to him right now.
So
Cinderella... her
what do you know? It'd be so weird that a week where Geno Smith turns back into a pumpkin and Russell Wilson, turns out not to be as bad as we thought he was. That'd be weird.
It's like the Titans are rough. I'm telling you right now, the Titans are not a team. The Titans are the team that's going to beat the Eagles. I'm telling you, if there's one team that's going to beat them, it's the Titans. Nobody wants to hear it, but I'm telling you, ugly football. Defense running the football, that stuff travels. Shakur Smith, pardon me. Josh Palmer or Tony Pollard? It's Pollard for me, 100%.
Yes, Tony Pollard.
Space Ghost Rider 2023, full PPR, Mostert or Connor?
Mostert.
Jack Pusa, pick one, full PPR, Rondell Moore, Pittman, Gabe Davis.
Rondell Moore.
Willie Moe, would you trade Pittman straight up for Khalil Herbert or Jeff Wilson? Yes and yes.
Yeah, either or.
Cody Welling, if you had one, would you rather have Herbert or Wilson?
I think right now Wilson probably has more value.
Agreed.
So I'd probably try to get him first.
Cody Welling, could you imagine if I told you in the beginning of the year, in August, at some point you're going to, without hesitation, say that you're going to trade Michael Pittman Jr. for Jeff Wilson Jr.?
I mean, we were saying weird stuff after like week 2 when Dak went down about CeeDee Lamb, and stuff changes so rapidly, man.
Stuff gets weird. Cody Welling, help in a standard league, Najee, Connor, or McLaurin? I play Terry still. Although it is such a tough matchup against that Eagle secondary.
I'm just gonna play Najee.
Just play Connor.
I'm just playing Najee. Just pray.
Yeah. All right.
You still like the Steelers, so you have to
Don't yell at me. I'm very sensitive. Why are you yelling at me?
You like the Steelers. You got to kind of sort of like Najee.
Andrew.
James Conner.
I like all the Steelers receivers. I just don't like Najee.
I like all the Steelers not named Najee.
Well, I mean,
even
can we revisit the Najee touchdown total? It's a standard league. That's why
I think
That's why I think Connor's the
yeah,
better of the plays.
especially without Kyler.
So
So that
you
means
yelled at me, and then at the end you came back to where I was anyway. So I want an
yeah, that's
apology
why
here in front
we
of
talk
everybody.
about. That's why this
That
is
wasn't
not the.
talking. That was mean.
Well, sometimes
Yelling.
it's tough love with
So
the Elijah
mean.
Mitchell
It's
crowd.
tough.
Same thing.
I'm yelling at the ether and the people. I'm not yelling at you.
Josh Allen is active.
So hard. I want to rethink that long-term extension with you now.
Hey,
Gabriel Hand, Joe, Drew. He called you Drew. Does anyone call you Drew?
only a couple people did. It's a
Call
very
you
rare
D
few.
Money? Yeah.
Don't call me that. I
Full
will never answer you. You'll go automatically on mute.
You can take the boy out of New England, but you can't take the uptight out of the New Englander. Full PPR, Flexbot, Khalil Herbert or Gerald Everett. I'm playing Herbert. What do you think?
Yeah, Herbert.
Someone just put in here, Leonard Fournette threw an interception. So that's awesome. I don't know how that happened, but I'd like to
Hopefully
see
that helps our guy that's up against Fournette. That's negative points.
Right, there you go. There's your
There you go.
minus
That's
points.
a big win.
So
So maybe this means they'll get more touches for Rachaad White.
Maybe.
Rachaad White has 0 interceptions this year. So
Mark needs serious help. Sutton, Connor, Rondell, or Palmer. Pick 2. Also, Komet or Ertz.
I'm still going with Ertz. I thought he's going to get a lot of targets. Pick 2. So Rondell. I'm just going to say Sutton, whatever. It's like at this point, I'm already in too deep. So just hope he does
You
well.
gotta stay on the end. Matt Thurlby, half point, PPR, Mooney, Robinson, Pickens, or more. Please 2. I'm playing Pickens and more. Pickens and more.
I agree.
Pickens and more.
I agree.
Everybody likes to play Pickens and more. The Colonel. Hi, guys. Crunch time. Needs some sage advice. Schultz or Dulcich and 2 RBs. Pierce, Pollard, Wilson, Elliott, Kyron. This is easy. Pierce and Pollard. Stop overthinking things. Okay? I know Wilson's a nice play, but not when you have Pierce and Pollard ahead of him. That's crazy talk. Even if he's outperforming, it doesn't matter. Schultz or Dulcich? That's the question we need to answer.
Dulcich.
Sean Walker from Denver, Colorado. Full PPR, DPJ or Cooks, DPJ, and then Garoppolo or Cousins. You're going to say Garoppolo, right? I'm okay with Garoppolo here.
Okay.
Garoppolo over Cousins, I'm okay with. That's fine.
We've reached a happy medium.
We've reached a meeting of the Cousins divide. Young Cuzzy, as I like to call him, because he's now a rapper. Ernie Torres, Wershing. Curtis Samuel, Brandon Cooks, Gallup, or grab and play Kenny Galladay. No. Don't do that.
Stop right there.
That is a terrible idea. I want to see the roster percentage of Kenny Galladay after today. I want to see what that raised day over day. We should have a walk of that. So who do you want to play here? Samuel or
I'll probably play Cooks. Like, I mean, if he's out there, like
I'm gonna play Samuel. Cooks is terrible. Playing Samuel. I couldn't think of a name. Dalton or Rodgers?
Oof. Wow.
I know. How sad is this?
Are we gonna say Dalton? Are we gonna say Dalton?
Yeah, I think
Do you? I just if TJ Watt wasn't coming back, I would actually feel much better about this. But
I'll tell you what. Let before we get completely insane, let's take a little look here at what we've got here. Aaron Rodgers against Dallas. Let's look at some projections. Let's look at where we are. Rodgers is very steady, although unspectacular. So I think what we want to do is play steady and unspectacular. So I will say Aaron Rodgers. There you go.
I'm going Dalton. I don't care. I'm done. We like the Steelers Saints game. So if Steelers are putting up points, Dalton's got to throw the ball. So
all right. SGT stacking full PPR, Brandon Ayuk or Josh Palmer?
Full PPR, I'll lean Josh Palmer.
Jay, I need a streamer spot at QB. Keenum's not starting. Danny Dimes, Trevor Lawrence, Goff, Brissett, Pickett, Dalton, usual suspects. Danny Dimes is the highest in everyone's ranking, so I would think Danny Dimes is the way to go, right?
Yeah. But I think if you want
Lawrence is intriguing, but
I wish they were not on the road. Like if they were at home, I feel better about them. Because it's one of those things where Kansas City, like, oh, it's a great matchup on paper, and then you go to Kansas City and you're like, wow, like this is a lot harder than all the other quarterbacks made it look like. So, yeah, I think you're gonna go with Dimes here.
So apparently, it was a trick play with Fournette throwing to Brady across the field, and according to Mike Mayer, he said It went exactly as how you think it would.
Why do they keep doing these like trick plays to Brady as a receiver?
I don't know. He doesn't have good hands. He's not a good athlete.
We've seen
He
this
is
so
the
many
greatest
times, just like
quarterback to ever
be
play the position. He's
horrible.
not a good athlete.
It's like, oh god, I don't know why they keep doing it. It just doesn't work anymore.
Also, Ryan Tannehill officially active. Brandon Cooks officially active. Jarek McKinnon and Kenny Galladay. Don't add Kenny Galladay,
Where
please.
are those guys active?
Yes, they are all
Is there
active today.
any surprise inactives, or is that from what you know?
Okay, I ask a lot of things. No, I just have the actives. I don't have the
Okay.
inactives. So Josh Allen officially active today too, just in case you
Okay.
wanted the official. Dusty Hobson, full PPR. Ramondre, Higgins, Andrews on a bye. Record is 5-4 with the most points scored in the league. Connor, Hunt, Mostert at RB. Claypool, Deontay Johnson for flex. Moreau or Higbee at tight end. I'm not sure which are the questions here.
I'm just gonna pick. I pick Connor. I pick DPJ. I pick Moreau.
Yeah, okay. I can sign off on that. Well, I was thinking about. Well, it's a standard, so that's why the Deontay Johnson still was kind of like, right? Was he saying no? It's a full PPR rather.
You want
Deontay or
over
DPJ?
DPJ?
Well, I mean, so close. I think I would.
Look, I mean, DPJ's been putting up the same production as Deontay.
You're not
despite
wrong. You're not wrong.
I think DPJ, like, this is a good spot. Everyone's on him on DFS, so it's like just play him in season long. It'll work out. Like, come on.
All right, there you go. Terrence, Nelson, Judy, Palmer, Gabe, standard, and pick 2. Thank you. So, who do you want to play in the standard?
Got to play Gabe and, dude, do you have a lean either? I mean, you hate.
Yeah, I would lean towards Palmer. Judy because Palmer. I think the Chargers are in for a really rough game against San Fran.
I like it. Let's go Judy.
David Farkas, because it's in standard, so I gotta play for some kind of touchdown equity there. Yeah. And I don't know how much Palmer brings in this game. David Farkas, Rondell Moore or Cooks, given Murray is out. I'm playing
Rondell.
Chevy Walker, top of the morning, fellas. I love what you guys do. Please help with the flex. Should I start Gerald Everett, Isaiah McKenzie, Donovan Peoples-Jones? Thanks so much. It's DP in the J.
DP in the J. Yes.
DP in the J.
DP
the D to the P to the J. Probably mashed. I'm not can't even say this one. I'm not going to. I'm not going to spoil my ride. All right. What do you guys think? You know who you are, probably. Full PPR, Pittman Jr. or Jerry Jeudy this week?
Jeudy.
Did you see what that person's name was? By the way?
Yeah. It's
Nathaniel Stevens. Salute from Wyoming. I'm glad I didn't go full Ron Burgundy there because usually I do. Nathaniel Stevens. Salute from Wyoming. Dulcich or Ertz in the full PPR?
I'm still going Ertz.
Jaquan wants to know Davis, Brissett, or Mills?
Brissett.
Yeah. What do we have?
Wait, is Davis Mills? Did he combine those into two different guys?
I don't know. I can only assume meant Davis Mills. So let's just say Brissett and move on.
Okay.
Maybe it's Brian Davis.
Dude, who is this Brian Davis guy? Did he get signed and like we just don't know about him? Like, where is his projection?
Somebody Google Brian Davis and figure out what's going on. Cameron Satian. I'm 4-5 and need a win. Half PPR. Pick 2 wide receivers. Sutton, Ayuk, Rondell Moore. I'm playing Rondell and Ayuk, and I know Andrew's going to play Sutton and Ayuk, right?
No, I'll play Ayuk and Rondell Moore.
Okay, all right, let's go. Higbee, Komet. I'm playing Komet. I'm riding the wave.
Yeah. No, you can't play Higbee.
There you go. All right, Trone Force, currently 5-4. Drop OBJ or Ravens defense from Madison or Kadarius Toney on the waiver wire, or just stay pat.
Well, considering OBJ is still not going to be cleared for like a month, the Ravens are on a bye week.
I kind of like dropping OBJ for Toney.
Yeah, I
wouldn't really drop the Ravens D right now. I like playing the Ravens D rest of the season now that they've
agreed.
They have some major additions to that defense.
Yeah, like OBJ's. The thing is, like OBJ's value is not going to change today. Like we know what we know, and he's going to come to a decision on a team he wants to be on, whatever. Whereas Toney could go out. We talked about him on the show. Like he could have a big game here, like with no Hartman. So his value could spike dramatically. And you're going to want them on your roster. So yeah, I agree. OBJ.
All right, let's go to the next one here. Elijah Hardy, you guys keep skipping my question. Elijah, we're doing the best we can, okay? All right? We're trying. God. Like it's personal. Like I'm skipping your question. First of all, I can't even see the questions. They get filtered to me by a third party. Did you know that? See, I've just blown up your whole mind. Your whole mind's just blown up. So Elijah, passive aggressiveness aside, I'm going to answer your question now. Okay, Elijah? You guys keep skipping my question, Devontae or Herbert? Well, first of all, you didn't even give us a format. So maybe you give us a format, it'd be easier to answer. Maybe we should look inward, Elijah. Maybe.
Look inward.
Yeah. What do you think?
I'm going Devontae Smith.
Or I'm going to play Devontae Smith too. But Elijah, again, we're all doing the best we can. So just relax. I know it's week 10. Everyone's got their dander up. It's fine. Sarah Paul, salute from France. Excellent. What's up, Sarah? Allen or Prescott? I got to play Josh Allen, regardless. Not so easy question now, she says, but it is, because if Allen's good enough to go, I think you got to try to put him out there, because you just don't know what Prescott too. Like,
I think too, it's like one of these things where we become like, we're so ingrained at the beginning of the week when it's like, oh, Josh Allen's not going to play. And then you kind of figure out, okay, then there's going to be lingering effects where it's like, if he's out there, like he's probably fine. Like, and if this injury had not like trickled on all week,
he's playing through an injury. Let's be honest. Like, we'll know in the first series if he's fine or not. We'll know from the way he's throwing the football.
In the snow.
But it's too late then. But I think you got to play Josh Allen anyway. Ken Walker, by the way, up to 9 carries for 17 yards, just in case you're keeping score at home.
Nice.
So there you have it. Let's go to, don't forget, everybody, that the stream, by the way, which we'd love for you to like right now, because we've been very fun today and answered a lot of questions. So please like the stream. Press that little thumbs up there. We really appreciate it. And don't forget, we are brought to you by Monkey Knife Fight today. No math, no salary caps, no sharks. Andrew's afraid of sharks.
I love sharks.
So just you like Shark Week? You're a big Shark Week guy?
I love sharks. If I ever stop this profession of being a fantasy analyst, I'm going to be someone that studies sharks.
A shark enthusiast.
I'm going to move to Cape Cod and study sharks.
Monkey Knife Fight. No math, no salary caps, no sharks, just daily fantasy player props. Free $5 first game for new signers using that promo code FantasyPros as one word, FantasyPros, and you get the 100% deposit match up to $100 on that first deposit at Monkey Knife Fight. Go to monkeyknifefight.com, use the promo code FantasyPros, and join the fight. And join Andrew Erickson on Shark Week too. I'd love for you to be a guest. I want you to be famous enough someday where you are like the special host of Shark Week. That would make me super happy now that I know. Like, that's a big thing for you. S. Lee, JL, pick one, half PPR, Dalvin Cook, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Ooh,
I think Dalvin is the safest of those options.
There you go. Maya Almost, pick two, DPJ, Deontay Johnson, Aaron Jones, half point PPR.
I feel like I'm just. Is this too much now for DPJ, or are we still like?
That's the question I'm asking. I think it's Jones and DJ for me. Still, but if you want to play Jones and DPJ and hedge your bets a little bit with, with the gross, that's
like if
okay
Aaron
too.
Jones is playing, he's still like
have to play Aaron Jones if he's playing. Like,
yeah, even this ankle thing is annoying.
I think it's Jones and Deontay, and then if you don't want to start that, that's fine.
Well, I mean, if it was full PPR, I would feel better. I mean, I think that you can still start DPJ over Deontay in half PPR.
You can. That is an extreme toss-up. I think you look at the rest of your lineup, too, and see what kind of exposure you have. Like, if you're going to have exposure to that Cleveland game, then you might as well go into it. If you're going to have exposure to the Saints game and the Steelers game, well, you might as well just go into it then. I think that's what you look at. You look at your lineup after that. Brian Blake, Haya, Curtis Samuel, Isaiah McKenzie, Treylon Burks, and Brandon Cooks. Gross.
I'm going with McKenzie. I like his matchup in the slot with Josh Allen.
Curtis Samuel for me over McKenzie. I can't do this McKenzie stuff. No
McKenzie.
Guy does nothing. Kizo, be easy. Have a concept. I don't know what that is. Standard flex, Kareem, Waddle, or risk Zeke. I'm not risking Zeke. So Wandale or Kareem is also gross. Or do you cut one to pick up Mooney or Pickens? I'm playing Pickens if I can.
Yeah, agreed.
Go out there. Who are you going to cut? I'm going to cut Wandale and pick up Pickens. How you like that? You like that, apples?
Definitely. Yeah.
There you go. Problem solved, Kizo. You're welcome. Dan D. Couture. Hi, guys. Love the show. Full PPR. Do I dare start Kyron Williams over Najee Harris? I would say no. I can't get there.
I mean, look, we talk about how like slow Najee is, but like Kyron Williams is not. He's not fast Najee, either.
Like, seriously.
Like this Kyron thing could be like a total. Like you're only starting Kyron Williams. Like I have no other running backs, and this guy might play. Like Najee, he's still the starter. Like until we see otherwise from Jalen Warren. Like the coaches can say whatever they want until we see it. I'm just gonna start Najee.
Jorge Alphonse Sepulveda Sadina. I got them all, Jorge.
Whew, nice.
Gabe Davis, Palmer, or Pittman. Choose one. That's got lots of flaming emojis after. Lots of fire.
If you want a floor, I would say Palmer's probably your guy. But
Agreed.
if you want a ceiling, it's always Gabe Davis. Like Gabe Davis is always the boom or bust
he's
guy.
Good for
and
3
Allen's
or 33. Playing. Yeah.
Yep.
But I think Palmer here is where you just take the points and get out, because if it's a full PPR, you can. I just don't see him scoring a touchdown in this game. If he does, that's great. That's gravy.
And that's why
maybe it's garbage time.
You look at your matchup and you see, am I a big underdog? Like, oh, am I going up? Oh, they played Kenneth Walker. Okay, I can probably take more risk. Or like, or I can play it safe because they played Ken Walker. I can play Josh Palmer and just like lock in some points.
James Little, full PPR, Palmer or Herbert in the flex. Love all the shows you guys put out. Well, thanks, James. We appreciate you being part of the shows. You guys are a part of the shows as much as we are. Full PPR, Palmer or Herbert in the flex. I like Khalil Herbert. I want my points.
I just don't like not playing guys against the Lions, so I'm going Herbert too.
Sorry. William Huttenhauer. I love a good Huttenhauer. Would roster DPJ or Curtis Samuel PPR? I'm playing DPJ over Curtis Samuel. That I'm doing.
So I'm assuming he's like, should I drop Curtis Samuel to pick up DPJ?
I think the answer is yes for that, regardless.
Yeah, I mean DPJ long term. I mean you got Sean Watson.
Curtis Samuel has trade value. He's wide receiver 14 on the year. I know it sounds like unbelievable to think about, but he is in half PPR. Like you can deal him. Someone will take him from you, and now's the time to do it. Robin team standard Everett or Dulcich.
Dulcich.
D Cipher morning gents. Who should I stash in a 16-team league? Burks, Warren, Benjamin. I think you stash Warren.
Yeah, Warren has like probably the clearest path to like actual production.
And one injury away from a lot of production.
And Warren's been good. Like that's the thing. Like he's been efficient behind a bad offensive line, which Najee has not been. So if he takes over the starting role, they shut down Najee, then you could see Warren being a guy that gets there because of volume. So yeah, I'm going with Warren.
This is interesting from Adam Schefter. Josh Allen is active, but was not spotted on the field during pregame warmups.
Oh, God.
Well, that doesn't make you feel warm and fuzzy. Now, does it? Joel Peterson. I need help. PPR, flex position, Pat Fryermuth or Naheem Hines. I'd play Naheem Hines today. Fryermuth against the best team in the league against tight ends is not a good idea.
I'm starting Fryermuth. I don't know what Naheem's role is on his team.
We're going to find out today.
I know Fryermuth should have a bigger role without Chase Claypool. So I'm going.
He should, but I just don't know if this particular week is the week to roll that theory out.
Well, Isaiah likely got a touchdown against the Saints last week, so if he
can do it. Always lined up at the tight end position. He's lined up at the slot sometimes.
So
you know that. I know that.
We all plays the slot too. He doesn't just play all in line.
Not enough.
All right. Well, I feel good about Fryermuth over Hines. And our guy touches the ball one time.
That's fine. Look, in a full PPR. If you want to go ahead and take Fryermuth and just hope he gets a couple catches, that's fine. Huzzah. Brendan wants to know Pollard or Ayuk in the PPR. I'm playing Pollard.
You got to play Pollard. Pollard, you play literally over pretty much everybody at this point.
All right, ringside 503. Josh Allen or Tua. Now here's where I would play Tua. So if you want to replace Josh Allen, you can't go down the board to to Dak. But Tua is only like a hop, skip, and a jump down this board.
Yeah, if you have Tua, I would say even probably like just like having the conversation. Like if you have Fields and Josh Allen, like I think I'd probably just
Ken Walker sighting. Here we go. Pass complete. Catch made by Ken Walker. 23-yard reception. There you go.
Nice.
There you go.
Would you play Justin Fields over Josh Allen?
Yes. See, zero hesitation there.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, let's go.
So okay. So this Schefter thing. So is Josh Allen like active and not playing? Like is that?
I don't know, but that would be a heck of a.
All right. Well, if you're watching this right now, make sure you like try to stay up to date as much as you can with what this. Like we don't know exactly.
Definitely
what it is,
weird.
We got time.
Definitely weird. All right, let's go to Rich Sorali. Pick one full PPR. Brian Robinson, CEH, AJ Dillon, Darrell Henderson, Khalil Herbert. I'm playing Khalil Herbert.
Agreed.
Derek Buck. Third party, please select my question. Garoppolo. What does that mean, third party? What is it?
He's talking about our producer. He's talking about Troy.
Troy, you got a nickname. You're the third party. That's a good nickname.
Troy, give us a thumbs up if we want Garoppolo over Herbert.
Let's let third party make that decision. There you go. Garoppolo over Herbert. We all will agree on that one there. Okay, that was great. Uh, that's terrific. I was like, what's the third party? I say things and then I forget I even say things. Brian Blake. Hello, brothers. PPR. Curtis Samuel. Everything's Curtis Samuel. Cooks, Isaiah McKenzie, Treylon Burks. It's like the same group of guys every question.
I mean, but
I'm still going Curtis Samuel. His luck has not run out yet. It's gross. The other guys need so much to happen for them, Andrew. They really do.
Yeah, I mean, I think that these guys all kind of fall into like the wide receiver 3 of sadness kind of like area. So I really don't think any of them is going to be a difference maker. So yeah, Samuel's fine. I mean, I still I think McKenzie has a good matchup, but he's been inconsistent. So I get,
What did you just
Samuel
call
might be
it? The
safer.
wide receiver 3 of sadness? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Is that a 30 Seconds to Mars song? I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. It's just what it is. Like,
Did you have an emo phase? Did you have an emo phase in high school? Just out of curiosity? No, no emo phase. Right?
Just a lot of punk rock.
Oh, you're a punk rock kid. Okay, look at you.
Punk rock.
Yeah. You just walk by payphones and just take them off the hook and scream punk rock, and then move on to the next thing.
Yeah. In between my parkour sessions.
Cards in the attic, please help. I know this is brutal. Akers, Cook, Moss, Gainwell.
Oh God, it's so horrible.
I assume he means James Cook.
Because
it's gross. So
dude,
I'm not gonna take the easy way.
I would start Kenneth Gainwell.
I get Gainwell. Yeah,
dude,
that's a no-brainer,
man.
And
he plays on a good offense, and he scored last week. So
yeah, come on. Don't forget, everybody. After we're gone here, Tera Roberts, an adult, will take over and take you through the next hour and answer all your questions too. So make sure you like the stream and stay with us. We're not going anywhere. And remember, if you want your questions answered, you must be a subscriber of Fantasy Pros. So go right now, subscribe to Fantasy Pros YouTube channel, tell a friend about it, tell lots of friends, and you could win this Amari Cooper autographed jersey when you do. It is from pristineauction.com. It is glorious. Remember, subscribe, like the stream, drop a comment in the chat. That's how you get eligible, and then click that little bell till it goes ding for notifications. There you go. And then you know if you're the big winner, and every time a piece of content drops here at Fantasy Pros. T1 Photography, love the show. Need a last minute advice. Kyler is out. Need a last minute QB. Goff or Dalton? I'm starting Dalton.
Red Rifle.
Boom. Let's go. Boy, Red Rifle. I felt bad for him, man. Watching Calais Campbell hit him when his back was turned last week, I felt that in my bone. Like that looked so painful. Calais Campbell is a mountain of a human being. And for that guy to hit you when you're not prepared for it and ready for it, I can't even imagine. Like, Andy Dalton doesn't need this. Like, he can go home and just sit on his ginger couch and watch football and do nothing. And just, like, he does not need to be doing this. So Andy Dalton, you're a true hero for going
Mike McCarthy says that he expects Zeke to sit.
Well, so do I. So there you go.
Well, where would you move? So Pollard over pretty much everybody, like, right?
It's a good question. Let's look at the tail of the tape. Let's look at the videotape. Let's take a look at it. So let's take a look. And well, let's see. I have to adjust my rankings now. Where did you have Pollard before?
I had him at 11, and now I'm moving him up to 3.
Okay. I had him at 12. I'm gonna move him up to 3. I'm gonna move him up to 7. I still don't love that game. I got a weird feeling it's gonna be another gross, like, I don't know. None of these teams are really exciting, I think, right now.
All I know is I have Tony Pollard on a team that also has Kenneth Walker, so I really need
let me tell you, you really need Tony Pollard. All right, let's
I hope Tony Pollard is the RB3.
I love these games in the daytime because, like, in the morning, because you get, like, these fun things. Kenneth Walker up to 9 carries for 17 yards, by the way. So the yardage total didn't change, but you got an extra carry. And then 6 receptions for 55.
All right.
They're losing 21-9 right now.
But the fact that he's getting the receiving work, like, yeah, he's not obviously going to put up a top 10 day, but
that's when you pivot. Things aren't going well. A little bit, throw him the football.
Yeah, and he's not doing, like, the thing is when you get game scripted out completely and he just totally nukes because they fall behind, this is encouraging, like, oh, he still got receptions in the passing game and they fell behind. So it's good for Kenneth Walker.
DK Metcalf 6 for 71, Tyler Lockett 2 for 32, but had the touchdown. So
okay. Touchdown.
See, you were oofing, but you didn't hear the last part.
Yeah, the touchdown. Yes.
Touchdown saves the day. Let's go to, what do we got here? Daniel Keenan. My question is filled with bad players. Okay, gurus, I need 3. 2 for wide receiver, 1 for flex. Sutton, Wandale. I like that he said bad players, and the first one was Sutton. That really irks Andrew.
Obviously.
Sutton, Wandale, Rondale, Hollins, and Swift. It's PPR, and I need a win. I'm tied for second place. For me personally, I'm playing Swift, Sutton, and more. That's what I'm doing.
Agreed. I agree.
Okay, so that's not so hard. Cactus Jones, hey folks. I had to step away. Can anyone tell me if they've answered my question of Goff, Russ, or Lawrence? Do you think anyone else is paying attention to anyone else's question but their own? You're adorable, Cactus. I want to take you. I want to put you in my pocket because you're adorable. Nobody cares about anyone else's question except their own. Who do you think this is? Hey, folks. Okay, here we go. Goff, Russ, or Lawrence? I would start Lawrence. I want to see the world burn with the Denver Broncos this week. I just want to see it all burn.
Okay, they can still burn, and no, I said Lawrence.
Okay, so Lawrence for good.
Yeah, Lawrence.
Tommy Franco, Daniel Jones, or Kenny Pickett? It's got to be Jones, but
yeah,
I understand the question.
Yep.
Cat Marone, morning fellas, rough bye week for me. Please help. Half PPR, start Dulcich or Higbee.
Dulcich.
Devonta Smith, Josh Palmer, or DPJ.
Devonta
Smith. Okay, there you go. That was easy. Matt Thurlby, in my 12-team league, full PPR, start Hopkins, Pittman, or Gabe Davis. I also have Pickens, but I need 2.
I'm not benching Hopkins for Pittman or Gabriel Davis.
Are you playing Pickens over Pittman and Davis? No.
Not over Davis, no.
Okay. D Far, full PPR, Dalvin Cook or Jamal Williams?
Dalvin.
Baby, I think I can say this one. Baby got a wide back. 1 PPR. I have to say it that way, though. Otherwise, it doesn't work. More without Kyler, Pickens, or Deontay Johnson. Love the show, fellas. Keep up the good work. Thank you, baby. So what do you want to do here?
I'm going to still start Rondell Moore.
All right, there we go. Rondell it is. I think I would play Pickens. I've got a morbid attachment this week to Pickens. Pierre Obenswain. Help! Taylor, Kamara, or Pierce? Standard need 2. Well, in standard, I'm playing Pierce because I know what I'm getting out of him. So do you want to play Pierce and Kamara, or you want to play Pierce and Taylor? Or maybe you want to play Taylor and Kamara. I don't know. I'm playing Pierce this week against the Giants.
Yeah, I'll play Kamara and Pierce.
All right. Almo, what's up, guys? Asking from Chicago, Gallup or Peoples Jones in the flex? I'm playing
Peoples Jones.
DPJ, the People's Champion. That's what we're playing this week. Rich's Monies, which is funny. Curtis Samuel or DeAndre Swift? I'm playing Swift here. How about
Swift.
Giovanni De Castillo, love you guys. Unbiased, Sutton or Samuel? Unbiased, Sutton or Samuel?
Well, you mean you're the one that's been advocating for Samuel. Do you like him more than Sutton?
No.
Yes, Sutton it is.
You finally got one. See that kid? You hung in there long enough. Good things come your way. Eric Weiserma, George Pickens, or Brandon Ayuk? It's Ayuk. Let's not get crazy here. Brian S. Saw others asking the same question. I haven't heard the same answer yet. Hurts or Fields? Thank you.
I'm playing Hurts.
Still got to play Hurts. But if you have both of them, you should trade one.
Yeah. I mean, Hurts is doing...
You should trade Fields because Hurts has already had his bye.
Yep.
Period. End of story.
And everybody wants Fields right now. Everyone's like, yes, he's the new hotness.
He's super hot right now. He's like Hansel. Justin Sorg. Hey guys, traded Kamara for ATN. Good move. I think so. In a PPR.
I think that's an excellent move.
Yeah.
ETN plays the Texans in week 17. That's all you need to know.
Trevor Dottie, Standard League. Who to start in the flex? Pickens, Swift, Tony, Wilson. Agreed. Alex Orlando, Everett, or Schultz in the full PPR?
I like Schultz. You have Schultz here.
And then Derek Brown. This can't be the real Derek Brown, could it? Is he asking us a question? Keenum out with warm-ups, fam, but no sign of Josh Allen so far. Oh my goodness, the plot is thickening. And on that note, we are going to pass the baton to, as I said, a real adult who is going to take you through the next hour. Not like us, we're children. But Tera Roberts is going to take you through the next hour, answer your questions. Don't forget to like the stream. Don't forget to subscribe so you can get your questions answered. And please don't ask any Elijah Mitchell questions because you know the answer. That'll do it for me and Andrew. The story of the game goes on right now with Tera Roberts. We'll see you next time, kids. There she is.
All right. Peace, guys.
What's up, everyone? Ready to go. I'm with you for the next hour. Um, Hopefully we're gonna get some more clarity. Yeah, that Josh Allen thing was kind of crazy right here. I think a lot of people were planning with the information that was coming in that okay, it sounds like we're getting Josh Allen. We were working our minds around who we would actually start over him and whether or not we're going to play him, and we might not even get that opportunity. We might have to go ahead and prepare to play him. So guys, I mean, if you've got I know a lot of people are, kind of still waiting on Kyler Murray, maybe getting a little bit nervous. If you've got any quarterback concerns, you might want to go ahead and like immediately jump onto waivers, jump in there, grab who you can at quarterback, because man, I don't know, get a little spooky over here. So let's jump into the questions. Question from Alex, Orlando, Everett, or Schultz. Full PPR. I'm going to go with Everett. I don't dislike Schultz this week. They're very close to me, literally right next to each other. But I think, given the situation with the wide receivers there in LA, Everett is just going to be a target, a little bit more reliable target in terms of the opportunities there. So I'm going with Everett over Schultz. Question from Rich Hicks. Mostert, Thielen, or Dulcich in flex? I'm going to lean towards going with Mostert. Now, granted, Thielen's kind of interesting because, again, we've got this situation where Buffalo is kind of suffering in terms of their defense. Their secondary is reeling. They've got a lot of guys out that are struggling. And then Dulcich, I do really, really like him this week as well. But Mostert has such a high upside matchup, even with the split with Jeff Wilson, who I do like a little bit more than Mostert. I am still okay with going with Mostert in this situation. There should be volume there for both Mostert and Jeff Wilson. Question from Robert Sasson L. How's it going? Josh Jacobs or Damian Pierce, half PPR? Good question right there. We're going to lean towards going with Josh Jacobs. I know we've had a couple of disappointing games here for Josh Jacobs. The Raiders really need to turn around and rely on their bread and butter, which has been Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs. And maybe we should get a little bit more of that. We've got some clarity now that we've got a couple of guys on IR for the Raiders, unfortunately, with Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow going. Does bump Mac Hollins up a little bit more. But I think that, again, when we look at this matchup for them, they should be able to use Josh Jacobs pretty well on the ground, rely on him. And I'm still okay with going with Josh Jacobs and the upside that he has over Damian Pierce. Question from Josh Word. Hey, Tera, half PPR, pick 2, Gabe Davis, Rondale Moore, Antonio Gibson, Khalil Herbert. That is a super, super interesting group that is oddly close together. So I'm uncomfortable with Gabe Davis, even before this kind of, mystery information around Josh Allen, just a little bit uncomfortable with Gabe Davis, given the fact that we've got bad weather over there in Buffalo. We've got a situation where even if Josh Allen does play, we're talking about an injury to the elbow to where maybe he just doesn't feel super comfortable throwing downfield, which is Gabe Davis's bread and butter. So I'm not a fan of going with Gabe Davis this week. I would probably lean towards going with Rondale Moore, even with the quarterback situation over there. The position that Rondale Moore plays, maybe they, throw under a little bit more, which does benefit Rondale Moore. And then Antonio Gibson or Khalil Herbert. I would probably go with Khalil Herbert over Antonio Gibson. I do like this game for Antonio Gibson to be more of an Antonio Gibson game than a Brian Robinson game with J.D. McKissick out. But Khalil Herbert has a fantastic matchup. So even with the split with David Montgomery, I prefer to go with Khalil Herbert. So we're going with Rondale Moore and Khalil Herbert out of that grouping. Question from Chris C. Full PPR. Flex, Deontay Johnson, or Darnell Mooney. I like Darnell Mooney this week. It's very simple. I like Justin Fields this week. I like the matchup this week. I like the upside, and I love what I've been seeing out of Darnell Mooney. We do have, some information that's come in that Chase Claypool is going to be more involved. They're going to be more inclusive of him, have some increased packages for him, which is fantastic. But I don't think it's going to take away from Mooney to the point where I want to sit him over the upside that he has compared to Deontay Johnson. Question from Fantasy Football Locker Room. Bench 1 in half PPR between Josh Palmer, Aaron Jones, Jeff Wilson. Oh, that hurts. So Aaron Jones is a fun one because we have the injury concerns. We thought that it was going to be something significant. It turns out it was really nothing. Honestly, we're not even looking at a game time decision. We're looking at somebody who ended up being a full practice, no concerns. I don't think we're going to have any limitations out of him. This might have just been something that was a little bit tweaked during the game, and he was very frustrated, obviously. The Packers as a whole were frustrated in that last game. So I'm confident with Aaron Jones. So Aaron Jones I want to go with. And then we're talking about Josh Palmer versus Jeff Wilson. Josh Palmer does have the more difficult matchup. So if you want to go with the safe option, go with Jeff Wilson. If you need to get a little bit riskier and go higher upside, go with Josh Palmer. It's Aaron Jones for sure. Josh Palmer, safe option. Aaron Jones for sure. Jeff Wilson, safe option. Josh Palmer, upside option. Question from Joe96. Hey, Tara, I don't like these options, but who do I start between Melvin Gordon and Jaylen Warren? Yeah, I don't like the options either, but it's not as bad as you think. Honestly, Jaylen Warren does have a little bit more upside. He's been coming on strong, and at least we have confirmation directly from Pittsburgh that they are going to get him more involved. And it's going to happen in this game right here. So it makes me a little bit more excited for him. He's someone who I think has interesting deep league value. Could get us to double-digit fantasy points. If he gets more opportunities, the thing is he's looked better and been more productive when he's been on the field compared to Najee Harris. So I like going with him over Melvin Gordon just because I know for sure there's going to be a split there. I know for sure that he has the upside, and I know that he has the talent if given the opportunity. Melvin Gordon, that's a hot mess of a situation, unfortunately, where, what we're looking at with the Broncos backfield is we're looking at Melvin Gordon and Latavius Murray splitting early down work and Chase Edmonds in the third down position. It's ugly all around. And before I even let any one of them touch my starting lineup, I got to see it in a game just to know exactly what we're working with. So go with Jaylen Warren for sure. Question from Kroll, the Warrior Princess. Hello. Welcome back. Happy Sunday, Tara. Thank you. Happy Sunday to you too, Kroll. No start-sit question this week, but I'd be lost if I didn't listen. Oh, thank you. Who are your 1 through 5 fantasy players rest of season? I do not have that up right now, but obviously, just off the top of my head, let's go with running backs, because if I narrow it down to a position, it'll be super easier for me to go off the top of my head. Obviously, we're looking at Austin Eckler, CMC, Saquon Barkley. Who would I have after that? Austin Eckler, CMC, Saquon Barkley, and then why am I blinking? Travis Etienne is someone who I would also want up there as well. And then Derrick Henry as well. So those are guys that I'm looking at rest of season, 5 players that I would prefer to start, guys that if you're maybe looking to trade high for, obviously it's going to be a situation right there, but those are the ones that I like 1 through 5 at running back rest of season. Should I pick up Kyren Williams? Question from Ken Verasco. Should I pick up Kyren Williams to put in for Zeke today or use Pacheco? No, depending. So it's not bad to stash Kyren Williams depending on who you are dropping for him, just to kind of see how that works out. But I would not start him this week. I would prefer to go with Pacheco. When we're looking at that Kansas City offense, I think there's going to be a lot of back and forth there, a high upside game for both Kansas City and Jacksonville. And Jerick McKinnon. So I've been doing lives here for the past couple of hours, so I don't have confirmation on Jerick McKinnon last time I looked, maybe about 30 minutes ago, but Jerick McKinnon was in question. So if he is unable to play today, that kind of ups the situation for both CEH and Isaiah Pacheco. So I would prefer to go with someone who I know is going to get work on the ground in Isaiah Pacheco rather than going with the risky option of Kyren Williams. When I got a lot of Kyren Williams questions, and if we look back to Van Jefferson's debut and how we were promised he would be very involved and we was going to get some looks on a full workload, and that didn't really happen. I don't trust the Rams with these guys coming off of IR that they're going to be immediately put into a big role, especially a rookie. So no, I can't start Kyren Williams today. Go with Isaiah Pacheco for sure. Question from Scott Eisenberg. Oh, thank you. Appreciate the comment. And then pick 2, half PPR, Dylan Henderson or Donovan Peoples-Jones. Yeah, I talked about that Rams backfield that I can't trust them right now, although Henderson is the one that I would bring out of it the most. And then A.J. Dillon, we talked about earlier with Aaron Jones. I think Aaron Jones is a full go. I don't think that A.J. Dillon is going to have massive involvement. And the bad thing is that it's a terrible matchup for the running backs. And in terms of looking at A.J. Dillon, he's going to be getting, if the bulk of the work that he would be getting is going to be on the ground. Against Dallas, I can't trust it. So I got to go with Darrell Henderson, and then Donovan Peoples-Jones, who has been a very steady flex option. He's been very reliable in PPR. It's half PPR, but I think this is one of those games where this could be his breakout game. If you look at the matchup, the upside is high. He's been very safe in terms of floor, so I like DPJ and Darrell Henderson. Next question from NCJ Hawk. Already sat a bunch of points. Oh no, already sat a bunch of points with Godwin. Ugh, who do I bench in half PPR between Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift, and Tony Pollard? It's gonna be DeAndre Swift for me for sure. Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott out against that Green Bay defense. I'm loving Tony Pollard as someone that you can plug in and feel very comfortable with. He's been electric when he's had the opportunity, and he's going to get it in full today. So yeah, this is a great Tony Pollard spot. And then we're looking at Jonathan Taylor. It's hard to trust him given the situation that we have in Indianapolis. But the good thing is that if there was a game for him to come back and have a good opportunity, it's against Las Vegas. So, I'm going to go with the matchup here, and we're going to go with Jonathan Taylor and Tony Pollard. Now, let's see. Next question from Guru Goldmend. Half PPR, Flex 1, Jeff Wilson and TJ Hawkinson. Yeah, I'm going to go with Jeff Wilson. Because again, when I talked about this Miami backfield, first of all, it's a great matchup for them against Cleveland. And I do think that Jeff Wilson kind of tilts towards being the guy that I prefer in that backfield. When we look at somebody coming in fresh off a trade, and people coming in fresh off of trades, look at CMC, look at Chase Claypool. They're not immediately getting aggressive work, and it makes sense. But when we look at Jeff Wilson, man, he came in there, and the fact that he immediately split that backfield with Raheem Mostert, that tells you so much about how Mike McDaniel feels. He obviously is super comfortable with Jeff Wilson. He's super comfortable with him in this offense and this scheme. So I love Jeff Wilson. So I'll go with Jeff Wilson. I will say, though, I don't dislike TJ Hawkinson this week. When we look at that weather game in Buffalo, and I'm sure we will talk about it a ton as we go through this live, but when we look at that weather game in Buffalo with Minnesota, I don't mind the tight ends in this game. It might be a little bit difficult for Cousins and Josh, if it's Josh Allen, cross fingers, and Josh Allen to get the ball downfield. And that's where TJ Hawkinson and Dawson Knox can come up and be reliable guys underneath. So, I don't hate TJ Hawkinson. He's a really solid option for me, a clear top 10, obviously, clear top 10 option this week. But Jeff Wilson just has really good upside given the matchup. Next question from Moises Saba. Josh Allen or Justin? Oh man, Josh Allen or Justin Fields? I've gotten this question like 50,000 times today, and and maybe we get a little bit more clarity over it in the next 20 minutes or so. But I prefer to go with Justin Fields, honestly, unless you are in a position where you literally have like 1 or 2 losses. You are the clear leader in your league, and you can afford to risk Josh Allen maybe not making it through a game. Wish my notifications would come through so I can make sure I know right off the bat if we get any Josh Allen news. But it's just super risky if he gets out there and that elbow really starts bothering him and they have to pull him. I get very worried and concerned about that. Just go with the safe option of Justin Fields over him. We know the upside is so strong with Justin Fields, and it's a good matchup for him. Question from Mr. Rizzo. Hi, Tara. Would you flex Jonathan Taylor over Mooney and McLaurin in full PPR this week? Yeah, I would. Again, I talked about this Indianapolis team and the fact that they're a hot mess, but it's a good matchup, and I do not expect the Las Vegas defense to be able to shut Jonathan Taylor down. So if they go in this with any logical sense, and, we're a little bit worried about the play calling, but if there's any logic in this, the logic says let Jonathan Taylor run the ball, and he should be able to do that. Even with offensive line concerns, he should be able to do that against this Las Vegas defense. So I'm okay with going with Jonathan Taylor over those two. Next question from Josh Manotas. Good morning. Would you start Juwan Johnson or Tyler Higbee in full PPR? Yeah, I would start Tyler Higbee. Now, Tyler Higbee's usage has just dramatically dipped in an insane way, unfortunately. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that he's had to, unfortunately, help out with blocking because their offensive line has been absolutely awful. But it's possible, given the fact that this is a good matchup for tight ends. So this is a very good matchup for him in terms of the fantasy points allowed to tight ends. And then we've got a situation where it's not going to be Matt Stafford at quarterback. And maybe they have Higbee run more routes to be a little bit more reliable for Wolford. So I'm okay with going with Tyler Higbee over Juwan Johnson. Before I move on to the next question, I want to talk a little bit about Monkey Knife Fight. Monkey Knife Fight, no math, no salary caps, no sharks, just daily fantasy player props. Free $5 first game for new signups using promo code FantasyPros and a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 on your first deposit, but only when you join the fight at monkeyknifefight.com. Fantastic offer. Go take advantage of that. Diving back into the questions with question from Tyler Roark. James Conner or Najee Harris, half PPR. This one is painful because James Conner, I would love to say James Conner fairly easily, but it's a bad matchup for him. And then you hate to say Najee Harris, especially in half PPR, because, any of the upside that he's had has come in his pass catching ability. And we've got Jalen Warren that we talked about earlier, who's going to be making an impact and increasing in opportunities as well. So unfortunately, even though it's a bad matchup, you got to go with James Conner as the more reliable back, just because we know he is the lead back in that backfield. He came back last week and there was no ramp up or anything. He jumped back to like a 70% snap count. It was not even close. He was the lead back. So you got to go with one who is volume and not in a split backfield compared to Najee Harris, who is honestly moving towards a backfield that might look a little bit more like the Chicago backfield, unfortunately. So go with James Conner. Question from James Little. Let's ask the brains. Full PPR, Tanyan or Komet at tight end, and Palmer or Khalil Herbert at flex. Thank you. So for the tight end position, I do like both of these guys, but I would prefer to go with Cole Kmet. We talked about the upside that Justin Fields has this week in the good matchup. Cole Kmet has been on fire lately in terms of his red zone opportunities, which is fantastic, because we literally saw absolutely none of that last year. So that tells me that this regime right here for Chicago is utilizing him correctly, giving him those red zone opportunities. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of him. Good matchups. So I prefer to go with Cole Kmet. And then when we're looking at Josh Palmer or Khalil Herbert, I'm going to go ahead and go with Josh Palmer. Now, granted, it's not the best matchup in the world, unfortunately. But again, we're talking about the guy who is the clear wide receiver one compared to Khalil Herbert, who is in a split backfield where David Montgomery is still getting preference over him. So you got to go with Josh Palmer. Next question from Dylan. Just upgraded to Fantasy Pros Premium. Good choice there. Pick 2, half PPR. Devin Singletary or Jeff Wilson. That's the easy one for me. I love Jeff Wilson. Talked about it earlier. And then Dulcich or Freiermuth. That one is a painful one for me because I love Dulcich, but we're going to go with Pat Freiermuth on that one. I'm very excited to see how this new Pittsburgh, because we've seen all of these trades happen in Pittsburgh. We didn't get an opportunity to see what they look like without Chase Claypool. This is our first chance to see what they look like. So we're going to see how those targets are distributed, because Chase Claypool was averaging over 7 targets a game in the last several games before the trade. So that's a lot of targets that got to go somewhere. It's going to be very interesting to see where those are heading. We got an update here. Josh Allen is, oh man, both Josh Allen and Case Keenum are taking snaps. Josh Allen is taking them from the starting center. Case Keenum is taking them from the backup center. Maybe that's a little bit more clarity. We're super close to the game. Can they just give us like a 100% confirmation right here? We need to know if Josh Allen is starting. Crazy. You know what? Before I dive back into the questions, guys, I just want to do a little reminder that we are doing a giveaway here. If you want a chance to win a signed Amari Cooper Cleveland Browns jersey, courtesy of our friends at Pristine Auction, you need to subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel right now. Comment below on this video right here, and that's it. Make sure you turn on notifications to know when new videos drop and to find out if you won. And you'll find out real soon here. This is your last chance to enter, because I will be making the announcement later on today. So make sure to comment, get your comments in there so that you can be entered to win. All right, jumping back to the questions. We were at James. Nope, we just did James Little. We are at Shamir. Sit one. Sit one. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Christian Kirk, or Jerry Jeudy. That one is tough. I think the one that you got to sit is Jerry Jeudy just because of the shaky offenses. That feels like the shakiest situation. Amon-Ra St. Brown is difficult to sit because he is the literal receiving option. He's the literal pass catching option. Obviously, we've got TJ Hawkinson traded. We've got injuries galore. It's him and like Khalif Raymond. And if they let DeAndre Swift catch some passes as well. So the upside is just super high with Amon-Ra St. Brown to sit him. And then I just really like the matchup for Christian Kirk this week against Kansas City. The way that I see this game playing out, and why I also like a nice streaming option with Trevor Lawrence as well. I think that, Kansas City's defense has been very vulnerable, and Jacksonville, while they've been okay, Kansas City is going to be able to aggressively exploit their defense. So this is a situation where game script, it kind of lines up to where Jacksonville is going to have to chase points against a bad defense. So I like this situation for Christian Kirk. Really prefer to start him and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Next question from Kyle Cook. Good morning. Josh Allen or Justin Fields, half PPR? Yes, that's one of our favorite questions of the day. And we are going with Justin Fields over Josh Allen. It's too much drama around Josh Allen, too many question marks, too bad of weather, and too many risks that he might not make it through the game. So you got to go with Justin Fields as the safer option. Question from Monica Herrera. Hi, Tara. The numbers are going my way. Nice. The numbers are going my way in the Germany game this morning. Need some help. Gabe Davis or Donovan Peoples-Jones in PPR. Shout out to all that make it happen at FantasyPros. Thank you, Monica. We all appreciate it. I really like Donovan Peoples-Jones this week in PPR. He's been very solid. I think, it's either 3 of the 4 past games or 4 of the 5 past games. He's had double-digit PPR points. He's been very safe in terms of his floor, and we're just waiting for that high upside opportunity. And I think this is the game right here for him to have that breakout opportunity, even with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. So for me, I'm loving Donovan Peoples-Jones. A little bit concerned about Gabe Davis. Obviously, we talked about it and just how it's not shaping up to be a good situation for him. So we're going with Donovan Peoples-Jones in a nice potential breakout game here. Question from B-Turn. Half PPR, Jeff Wilson or Devin Singletary? I would go with Jeff Wilson. Again, liked him, or I've talked about Jeff Wilson like 5,000 times today. Love Jeff Wilson today. Devin Singletary is an interesting one because, again, this game, he throws me. He throws me a lot today because this game could be very heavy on the run, given the situation with Josh Allen, given the weather concerns. But I just don't know how much you can really trust him. So I lean towards going with Jeff Wilson. Question from Ryan Pratt. Ertz or Dulcich and Miles Sanders or Jamal Williams? Already starting Eckler, Jefferson, Hopkins, and Olave. So Ertz and Dulcich are right there next to each other for me. Given the fact that we won't have Kyler Murray, it could kind of either go either way, where Ertz has to be relied on a little bit more from Colt McCoy. So that could be a benefit for him as well. And then Dulcich, again, I love the connection that he's having. The opportunity that he's having is the clear tight end one, but I kind of lean towards going with Zach Ertz over Dulcich just because if, this quarterback situation might end up leaning towards Ertz being relied on a little bit more today. So go with Ertz, and then Miles Sanders or Jamal Williams. I'm okay with going with Jamal Williams. Again, you said you're already starting Eckler, so you've got your high upside play. So you can get a little bit risky with Jamal Williams. It's a good matchup for him, very good matchup for him. And then on top of that, he's the one that's a clear goal line opportunity. So I lean towards going with Jamal Williams. Next question from Grady Irish. Here's a big one. Taysom Hill or at quarterback. Oh, wait. Okay. Taysom Hill at quarterback with Greg Dulcich at tight end, or Danny Dimes at quarterback, leaving Taysom or Dulcich at tight end. Help. I would not. So the way that I would approach it is I don't mind Daniel Jones this week. He is of my very available guys on waivers, Danny Dimes is the one that I lean towards. It's a good matchup for him. Houston's defense has not been very competitive at all. He should be able, I mean, honestly, this is going to be a heavy Saquon game. So just keep that in mind. It's going to be a heavy Saquon game, but it means that the ball should run up and down the field, fairly easily. So that gives him a lot of opportunities for Daniel Jones. He also does fantastic work on the ground as well. So I like Daniel Jones in this matchup. And then I would bench Taysom Hill and go with Greg Dulcich at tight end. I just, Taysom for me, he's a very risky option. And when you've got somebody like Dulcich that has had a clear and defined role within the offense, a guaranteed snap count, a guaranteed target share, that's the direction that you want to head. Next question from Tim Baldwin, Donovan Peoples-Jones. All these Donovan Peoples-Jones questions today. Fantastic. Donovan Peoples-Jones, Antonio Gibson, or Curtis Samuel. Now, granted, this could be a good Antonio Gibson situation with J.D. McKissic out, as long as Philadelphia gets up and Washington is having to chase points. But I lean towards going with Donovan Peoples-Jones for the upside swing. And if you need a safe floor option, Curtis Samuel, obviously, provided this is full PPR, provides you with a very safe floor, not a whole lot of upside. So if you need a safe floor option, go with Curtis Samuel. If you need somebody that can be a high upside option this week, I'm feeling Donovan Peoples-Jones. Question from GA, Josh Allen or Dak? If Josh Allen is in, I'm playing Josh Allen over Dak. Cameron Jackson, David Montgomery, or Brandon Ayuk in flex PPR. This one is a tough one because David Montgomery has a fantastic matchup. Excellent matchup for him. But the problem is, again, split with Khalil Herbert. And then on the opposite end with Brandon Ayuk, we've got the issue of him being in an extremely crowded offense overall. We've got CMC. This is a great matchup for CMC. So they could literally just run CMC up and down the field all day long. We've got Deebo Samuel that's coming back. We've got healthy George Kittle. So this is like an ugly situation for Brandon Ayuk. I probably feel a little bit more comfortable going with David Montgomery over Brandon Ayuk. If you need a safe option, a safe floor, I think David Montgomery should be able to get you a solid 10 fantasy points. But if you want to go with the high upside option, if you need a high upside player, then go with Brandon Ayuk. Question from Mr. Chris Daddy 1. Pick one. Start Palmer, Sutton, or Smith. 12-team league. You've got some good options there. Devonta Smith has been a little bit unreliable in terms of his production. Cortland Sutton, same situation, unreliable. Josh Palmer, it's not a fantastic matchup, but he is the unquestioned wide receiver one in that offense, and the volume should be there for him. So I lean towards going with Josh Palmer. Question from Daniel Keenan. Oh, thank you. Hey, Queen. Need one PPR for flex Mooney, Sutton, Rondale Moore, or Swift. Thank you. This one is these Swift questions, man. These Swift questions are tough because you want to play Swift, but it's so tough to play him when we don't have a guarantee in terms of how much he'll be involved. In terms of if he's going to get, granted, he complained. He wants to be utilized more. So that's interesting. You get a player that complains about his usage. And when it's a big name player, a lot of times you see that usage uptick. You get, little squeaky wheel game. But I feel more comfortable going with Darnell Mooney. We talked about Justin Fields earlier, the upside that he has. I love Justin Fields this week. And I do still think that Mooney is the number one target for him. So I lean towards going with Darnell Mooney out of that grouping. Next question from Nathan Malone. Half PPR, flex. Oh, Mooney. Well, okay. Mooney, Pickens, Cook, or Dulcich. I'm going to assume it's Cooks with an S and not Dalvin Cook. Because if it was Dalvin Cook, I would 100% say Dalvin Cook. So I'm going to assume that is Brandon Cooks. So we're talking Tony, Pickens, Cooks, or Dulcich. I'm not comfortable with Brandon Cooks at all. I'm pretty much saying no to him all across the board because, one, he is expected to play, but we know he is incredibly unhappy. We know that he literally sat out of a game because of his disappointment with the organization and the fact that he wanted to be traded. And we also know that he might be a little bit bitter today because they removed him from being a captain. So if you take a salty player that was already salty and potentially make him even more salty. I don't like the situation that could come here. So while he may be on the field, he might mail it in. Maybe that wrist starts acting up a little bit during the game. So I just can't trust him. I can't trust him at all. So the guy that I probably trust the most of that grouping is going to be Pickens. It's a little bit risky because, we have seen his production dip a little bit. But the good thing is that I talked about earlier, I think when I was talking about maybe Deontay Johnson, is that the exit, or maybe it was with Pat Fryermuth, the exit of Chase Claypool, it left a lot of targets on the board. And those targets are going to have to go somewhere. Pittsburgh's offense is one that has been throwing for high volume, and that's not going to change because unfortunately their defense, now granted they are getting TJ Watt back, which is fantastic, but they've still been a questionable defense. And it's hard to imagine that it's not going to be a situation where Pittsburgh has to continue pushing high pass volume. Their run game has not been successful. Their defense has struggled to stop people. And the result is they just have to throw the ball a ton. And I like where that is heading for George Pickens. So I do like him this week. Next question from Greg Maffett. Pick 1, PPR, Jahan Dotson, Jarvis Landry, Zay Jones, Kenny Golladay, desperate. I feel you on that. Got a couple of desperate teams here and there, but Kenny Golladay will not be in the most desperate of lineups in any situation. It's a no to Kenny Golladay on all fronts. So we're going to go ahead and nix him out as well. Jarvis Landry, I'm just not super comfortable with because the problem with Jarvis Landry is that he's been out so long. We don't know what he is coming back to in terms of if they're going to be able to get him in and work him in on a full snap count, close to what he was seeing at the beginning of the season, or if he's going to need to be eased back in, if he's going to be a little bit limited. So I get a little bit nervous with starting Jarvis Landry. Zay Jones is someone who is very interesting to me this week because the target share has been there for him. He's the clear. Now, granted, Marvin Jones has been kind of interesting as well. But if you look at the snap count, Zay Jones is playing the vast majority of snaps. Marvin Jones is kind of more around that 50% range. So Zay Jones is the clear wide receiver too. And in a situation where Jacksonville is going to be chasing a lot of points with Kansas City, we're going to see a lot of opportunities shift over to Zay Jones. So I'm feeling good about Zay Jones. I like him as a low-end flex option this week. I like him a lot in DFS. He's someone that I'm looking at and thinking that this could be one of those situations. This one of these games where he gets back to one of those early season breakout performances where he has 8+ targets and gets some good yardage. So I really like Zay Jones in this game. It's tough to trust Jahan Dotson in his first game back as well. So Zay Jones is the one out of that grouping that I feel the most comfortable with. Question from Ashton Clark, Josh Allen or Jimmy G? So when we're talking about those Josh Allen questions, you might notice, if you give me a Tua or a Justin Fields, I'll say, hey man, go ahead and start, Justin Fields or Tua over Josh Allen because you've got a high upside player. Just go ahead and be safe about it. But there's not a lot of high upside to Jimmy G. So personally, I would just go ahead and start Josh Allen. Maybe like a half game of Josh Allen is probably going to get you somewhere near Jimmy G. So I think that that's kind of a line where you draw right there and you say, you go ahead and you start Josh Allen. Let me double check my notifications to make sure that we have got no negative news yet for Josh Allen. We're creeping up. We are less than 30 minutes. It's getting close. I'm getting kind of nervous. But right now, we're saying we are okay with Josh Allen. All right. Next question from GKLVS69. Pick 1. Palmer or Ayuk. Talked a little bit about Ayuk earlier, so we're going to go with Palmer over Ayuk. Question from Rolling Stone. Flex, Montgomery or Devonta Smith? Devonta Smith's production has been underwhelming. But again, it's a good matchup for Philadelphia. And it might be a little bit more competitive of a game than we realize. Now, granted, I don't think it's going to be super competitive, but maybe a game where it stays within 2 touchdown scores because it is a division game on a Monday night, a little bit emotional where Washington could play up a little bit. So, in that game, I kind of think that Devonta Smith might get a little bit more opportunities. So I lean towards going with Devonta Smith, even though David Montgomery does have an excellent matchup. Let's see. We've got next question from J Dilla 215. Full PPR flex. Jamal Williams, Miles Sanders, George Pickens, Alan Lazard, or Michael Pittman. That is quite the grouping right there. Let's just go ahead. When we're looking at that grouping, go ahead and knock out Pittman as a no-go option because of the situation, and go ahead and knock out Pickens because he's the riskier option out of all of those guys. So when you're looking at one flex spot between Jamal Williams, Miles Sanders, and Alan Lazard, Jamal Williams is honestly going to be probably the highest upside option given the matchup that he has and the goal line opportunities he's had extremely consistently. So I lean towards going with Jamal Williams. I wish I could say Alan Lazard because he is one of my favorite options in general in fantasy football, just because you got to love somebody. It's kind of like with Kenneth Walker. You got to love somebody where you know, like, hey, he's going out there, he's going to get a touchdown. These guys that are just touchdown magnets, and Alan Lazard is one of those people. But it's against Dallas. You got to get a little bit concerned. And Jamal Williams does have the better matchup, so go with Jamal Williams. Next question from Scott Smith. Kirk or Juju? PPR. These are super, 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 super close for me. I love Christian Kirk in this matchup, but with Mecole Hardman out, I'm leaning towards going with Juju, who's been an incredibly safe option. The targets have been there, the floor has been wonderful, and maybe with Mecole Hardman being out, who has also been a touchdown magnet over the past several games, maybe some of those opportunities slide over a little bit to Juju. So I lean towards going with Juju over Christian Kirk, but they're both fantastic options this week. Question from Cesar Navarez. Help. Hurting at quarterback. Kirk Cousins or Trevor Lawrence? Go Tigers. Yes, go Tigers. Awesome. Man. So we talked about Kirk Cousins earlier in the fact that, again, the Buffalo secondary is extremely, extremely beat up. Tre'Davious White will not be activated. Jordan Poyer is out, and there's someone else that I am forgetting, and I wish I had had the chance to look it up between lives, but they're just beat up so badly. And honestly, I'm okay with going with the upside that Trevor Lawrence has in this game against Kansas City over Kirk Cousins, because when we look at Kirk Cousins and all of the things that are stacked against him in this game, including the weather, I just get a little bit concerned that, there's not going to be a lot of upside for him. And the matchup with Trevor Lawrence, we've talked about at Kansas City, they're going to be chasing points aggressively. So we're lean towards going with Trevor Lawrence. Josh Allen is, in fact, starting at quarterback today. Adam Schefter just tweeted that one. So just little heads up. Now that's not official confirmation from the team. That's a tweet from Adam Schefter. All right, next question from Just Keep Moving. Ayuk or Pickens in full PPR flex? All in on your stream. Thank you. I love the all in comment. We're gonna go with Ayuk again. I'm super interested to see how the targets shake out there in Pittsburgh, but Ayuk is the higher upside play. We've seen it out of him. Even though this is a matchup that leans very aggressively towards Christian McCaffrey, I would prefer to go with Brandon Ayuk over George Pickens. Next question from Andrew Carroll. James Conner or Jerick McKinnon? Well, I love me some Jerick McKinnon. He is injured, and I'm going to lean towards away from playing an injured player and go with James Conner it's not a good matchup. I grant it, it's not a good matchup, but volume will be there for him, and he is the safer option and the healthier option. So go with James Conner. Question from Mike Yu. Traded away Diggs for Pierce and Amon-Ra. Oh, traded away Diggs for Pierce and Amon-Ra. I was in desperate need of a running back. Did I get enough value back? I think you did. Dameon Pierce, there's a little bit of a lacking in terms of upside just because of Houston's offense in general. But the good thing is that we've seen that he really doesn't get scripted out of a game. So that's the positive thing. And we've seen that even in difficult matchups, he's so talented on the ground that they're not going to get into a situation where he's running the ball for 15 carries for 40 yards or something terrible like that. So yeah, I think he's a safe option if you needed some help at running back. I don't mind making that trade, especially because Amon-Ra St. Brown does have some high upside, hopefully, that we'll see in the back half of the season. So with TJ Hawkinson gone and just a lot of issues at wide receiver. So I don't mind that trade for you. I thought you got decent value back to help you out there. Next question from Chip Addict. Benjamin or Olave full PPR? Olave for sure. For sure. Next question from Jacob. Need a tight end tiebreaker for PPR league. Higbee, Ingram, or Komet. I'm going to lean away from Higbee. Now, granted, it's a fantastic matchup, but I just can't trust somebody who's been getting, who's been getting such an incredibly low usage over the past several weeks. I can't trust that. Ingram, while I do like him in this matchup, if I'm talking about Ingram versus Komet straight up and trying to figure out that situation, Ingram has had the back issue. So again, when we talk about these players that are going to be playing potentially through injuries, you get a little bit concerned that maybe he gets out there, the back starts acting up a little bit, and he has to get pulled or miss a little bit of time during the game. So I would go with Cole Kmet out of that grouping. Next question from Michael Wainwright. Full PPR. Need 2 running backs. And need 2 running. Oh no, I don't know if it's need 2 running backs or flex. So I think it's just running back and a flex between Khalil Herbert, Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert, Devonta Smith, Brandon Cooks, and Josh Palmer. We're nixing out Brandon Cooks. Khalil Herbert and Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert. You guys know I love Jeff Wilson this week. I loved him last week. I'm sticking to my guns there on Jeff Wilson. So at running back, go ahead and go with Jeff Wilson. And then your flex option, I would go with Josh Palmer. Next question. And if you did need another running back, I would go with Khalil Herbert, just so you don't kind of pigeonhole yourself there with Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson. Just kind of diversify a little bit. Next question from Fred Mann. Good morning. Brandon Ayuk or Wan'Dale Robinson in flex PPR? Now, we've talked about Brandon Ayuk. The upside there is just very high for him. He's a high upside play. And Wan'Dale Robinson's floor is not honestly super safe either. So I would lean towards going with Brandon Ayuk. Question from Pew Pew 32. I love that username. Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard, or Jamal Williams. Ooh, pick 2, full PPR. This one is a tough question, honestly, because we've got Ezekiel Elliott that's out. So for me, Tony Pollard is a must start. I cannot sit Tony Pollard. And I don't want to sit Aaron Jones again because a lot of people are concerned with Aaron Jones and the ankle injury and the matchup. And I get the matchup concern, but I'm just here to say that I don't think the ankle injury is a big issue because he didn't miss practice all week. He was a little bit limited in the beginning. He ended up full practice, which is fantastic. You want to see that. He was cleared from the practice report. There was not any kind of game time decision. This didn't linger on. So at this point, this is a situation where everything adds up to where it's a safe situation for Aaron Jones. And even though the matchup is bad, we look at the fact that Romeo Doubs is out. It's literally going to be Aaron Jones as the second look, maybe even the first look in terms of just pure volume there for Aaron Rodgers. So I like Aaron Jones. So I would go with Aaron Jones and Tony Pollard. Jamal Williams is going to be the odd man out, unfortunately. Question from Billy Schulman. If no Kyler, do I start Rondale Moore or Darrell Henderson? Non-PPR. Oh no, it's non-PPR. That's no bueno for either one of them. Even then, so I would still go with I would still go with Rondale Moore. Not expecting Kyler Murray to play. But the thing is that, at least we're not looking at a situation where Rondale Moore is a big down the field threat and we get a little bit concerned that the ball is going to be staying short and Murray's going to get Moore is going to get scripted out. Not the case. I think that Rondale Moore is still going to be a fairly safe option, even with Colt McCoy at quarterback. Next question from Ian Johnson. Debo or Ayuk? You go with Debo. You still go with Debo. Again, upside is there for Ayuk. I get why you're asking that. And then Debo coming off of the injury, you get concerned. But similar to Aaron Jones, we've had Debo was good to go for a while. So this is not an issue for him. So I wouldn't have any injury concerns with Debo and roll him out with confidence. Next question from Aflac. Pick 2, please, between Hawkinson, Najee Harris, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Terry McLaurin, and Mac Hollins. Thank you. This is a super interesting question. I'm going to nix out. I'm not starting Najee Harris. I'm not comfortable with it. We talked about the split there between him and Jaylen Warren and the lack of upside and potentially lack of pass catching opportunities as well. So we're nixing out Najee, and let's go ahead and nix out Mac Hollins, who I do, mildly like in deep leagues, but given the list, we're going to nix him out here. So we're picking two between Hawkinson, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Terry McLaurin. The higher upside play is going to be Terry McLaurin, honestly. So you got to go with Terry, and then I think that TJ Hawkinson is a very safe option this week. We talked about that Buffalo game before and how the weather could benefit these tight ends in this situation with Hawkinson and Knox. So I lean towards going with Hawkinson and Terry McLaurin. Let's see. Before I move on to the next set of questions, I think that I am going to announce the winner of our giveaway. And the winner of the autographed Amari Cooper Cleveland Browns jersey, courtesy of pristineauction.com, is Patrick Traits. Please get in touch with our customer support agents at mailbag@fantasypros.com with your mailing address, proof of your subscription to the Fantasy Pros channel, and we will get that jersey shipped out to you. Again, the winner is Patrick Traits. Congratulations. That's a fantastic jersey to get, Patrick Traits. Congratulations. All right, jumping back to the questions. We left off with Aaron Milner. Who to keep? Okay, who to keep? Gus Edwards or Kenyon Drake, Standard League? That is a good question. You're going to have to hedge your bets here and hope that the bye week, because unfortunately we don't get enough information about injured players during the bye week, but we're going to have to hedge our bets here and hope that the bye week was enough to help Gus Edwards get healthy. So I would lean towards keeping Gus Edwards and letting Kenyon Drake go, unfortunately, especially in a standard league. That's the direction I would head. Bans, Santana, Claypool, or Mac Hollins? This is a good question right here because we've got two kind of different situations where Mac Hollins has Mac Hollins has played the vast majority of snaps, and that was even before Hunter Renfrow went down. He has been technically operating as the wide receiver 2 of that offense the entire season. So that's been very interesting for Mac Hollins. And then Chase Claypool, we don't really have a lot of clarification in terms of what kind of snap count he's going to get. We know they're going to increase his usage. We know he's going to get more opportunities. So it's kind of taken a little bit of a gamble here. But I think I want to take the gamble with Chase Claypool. I want to take that gamble that he is going to be integrated a little bit more into that offense. And I like the matchup and I like Justin Fields this week. So that's the direction that I'm leaning towards, going with Claypool over Mac Hollins. Next question from PSD Sworn. Just wanted to say thank you for your content. Could you help me out? No, you're welcome. Could you help me out? Should I start Josh Allen or Tua at quarterback? Yes. This is one of the difficult questions of guys that you could realistically start over Josh Allen. And I do think that I want to start Tua over Josh Allen. It's a good matchup for Tua, a lot safer option. And if you're in a situation where you cannot risk a loss, then you have to go with Tua over Josh Allen. And then the second part of that question, Deontay Johnson or Brandon Ayuk at wide receiver. The safer option is Deontay Johnson. That's the safer floor. And the higher upside option is going to be Brandon Ayuk. But again, when we're looking at, the competition in that offense, you got to kind of lean towards going with Deontay over Brandon Ayuk. The upside just isn't there for our Deontay. But if you need a safe floor option, that is the direction that you can go. Next question from Tigers OCR 9. Chubb or Pollard, full PPR. Oh man, you want to start Tony Pollard. I would find a way to get Tony Pollard into my flex position in some way, shape, or form, because you got to start Chubb. You got to start Chubb over Pollard, but find a way to get Pollard in there because the upside is so high for him with Ezekiel Elliott out. You hate to miss out on that. Question from Sarah Paul. Bonjour from France. Oh, wow. Awesome. Welcome from France. Awesome to have you here with us. Half PPR, Swift or Herbert. This one is a tough one because again, we're talking about two guys in a split backfield. So it's just a matter of who has the higher upside. And given that it's half PPR, it's tough to say this, but I think Herbert might have the higher upside in half PPR just because, unfortunately, with Swift, we are pretty much guaranteed that he's not getting goal line opportunities even if they increase his usage. So I hate to say that, but I think you got to go with Herbert in half PPR over Swift. If it was full PPR, I could lean towards the Swift side, but I think you might have a little bit of an edge in half with Herbert over Swift. Next question from Jason Beckler. Ooh, fighting for a playoff spot. Need 2 full PPR. Tony Moore, Rondale Moore. So Tony, Rondale Moore, Claypool, or Gabe Davis. So the one I feel most comfortable with in there is going to be Rondale Moore for sure. And then we're looking at, do we want to take a risk with, I'm not taking a risk with, especially if you're fighting for a playoff spot. Tony is way too risky for me. I know Mecole Hardman is out and that could open up opportunities, but look at who really saw a ton of targets in there last week. Honestly, it doesn't, I'm not feeling super confident about things shifting aggressively over towards Tony's way with Mecole Hardman out. So I'm staying away from that one. So we're going with Gabe Davis or Chase Claypool. You're fighting for a playoff spot. The higher upside play here, it's risky, but it's such a high upside play with Gabe Davis, you kind of have to do it. You'd hope and cross your fingers that there's one play. Josh Allen can get that elbow going because he's the one that's apparently going to start. Josh Allen can get that elbow going and get one big play to Gabe Davis to give you that edge. So go with Rondale Moore, who is the safer option, and then the upside option of Gabe Davis. Question from Hiking with Dan and Corey. Hello, thanks for your hard work. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Rondale Moore or Curtis Samuel. Again, I say Rondale Moore is still a fairly safe option, even with the quarterback situation over there. But Curtis Samuel, Rondale Moore, Curtis Samuel, Rondale Moore, Curtis Samuel, are they the same person? Are they Spider-Man meme? They might be. But Curtis Samuel obviously has the more stable situation over there in Washington right now with quarterback situation that he's been with for a while now. So we're going to go with Curtis Samuel over Rondale Moore. Next question from Joey Ochoa. Josh Palmer or Devonta Smith? Let's go with Josh Palmer over Devonta Smith. Question from Shane Terrell. Help, please. Full PPR. Start Olave or Gabe Davis. I need a win. So both of these guys are high upside players, for sure. And Gabe Davis obviously has just if in terms of the one that has the higher floor, despite the fact that I am an Olave truther, I can admit that Gabe Davis has the higher floor. But when I can look at Chris Olave and say you've got a very stable floor and high upside and, a pretty good matchup as well, I'm going to lean towards going with Chris Olave because I think this could be a situation where, given the matchup, maybe this is the chance for him to get back to one of those more, big boom breakout kind of games because he's had some difficult matchups defensively. And this is a good situation for him. So I lean towards going with Chris Olave over Gabe Davis as the more likely person to help get you that win. Next question from Sweet Dreams. Flex, half PPR, Connor, Mostert, or Wan'Dale Robinson. Now, I've talked about how much I love Jeff Wilson in this game, in this entire live, and honestly, this entire day, really, as we have done lives all over Fantasy Pros, on the Fantasy Pros Instagram, on the Fantasy Pros TikTok, and now on the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel. You can follow us everywhere live, literally all the time. So make sure that you're following Fantasy Pros. But if I am looking at the fact that, even in that matchup, the fact that I love Jeff Wilson, I also think that Raheem Mostert has a fantastic opportunity as well in that offense. And while I think that Jeff Wilson does have the higher upside, given the matchup that they have, they can both get burned in this game. I'm going to go with Raheem Mostert over Connors and Wan'Dale Robinson. Next question from James. Safe to play Jarvis Landry, right? Or wait and see? I would wait and see. Now, granted, he could come back and get fairly involved, but I lean towards being on the wait and see. I'm a more conservative fantasy player. When we get these guys that are coming off of these prolonged injuries, unless we saw, like Cordero Patterson was the only one when he came off of that injury where at least we had video evidence that he was out there really he looked good physically. Unless I see something that tells me hey man, I think he's really good to go and going to come back full swing, I lean towards staying away from these guys that are coming back and been questionable for a while. So I'm not going with Jarvis Landry this week. Next question from Troy Livingston. Cortland Sutton or Nyheim Hines, full point PPR. This is more difficult than you would think. Because Cortland Sutton, while he is, we don't know, does he qualify as being the wide receiver one of that offense anymore? I don't really think so. Jerry Jeudy has taken over aggressively, and Cortland Sutton has just been very disappointing recently. It's hard to, and it's tough. It's tough to trust him. Now, granted, this is a very good matchup for Russell Wilson, for that entire Denver Broncos receiving core as well. So that's the only thing that makes you kind of say, hey, maybe this is a nice bounce back situation from Cortland Sutton, because we do know what he is capable of. We do know the upside that he has. And we do know that, it's a little bit more stable than Nyheim Hines, who, granted, we cannot judge aggressively based off of what happened in that first game with Buffalo, because it's the first game. We've talked about, generally speaking, these first game situations, these guys are not going to come out and get aggressive burn in these games. So I'm not going to knock him too much, but I need to see how Nyheim Hines is really integrated into this offense before I feel comfortable starting him over a guy like Cortland Sutton. So I'm going with Cortland Sutton over Nyheim Hines. Next question from Sharon Wolf, Singletary or Herbert? Hey, transitioning over from Nyheim Hines to Singletary. I can't trust it. I can't trust it. I would prefer to go with Khalil Herbert in a far superior matchup. Minnesota has been incredible against the run. So it's a very difficult matchup for Singletary. Khalil Herbert, even in a split backfield, it's just a superior matchup. I would prefer to go with Khalil Herbert. Next question from Mike Yu, need one flex in half PPR, Sutton, Dulcich, or Herbert. Thank you. Lots of Herbert, these are these are the guys that we are very, very in question with. In half PPR, I'm probably going to lean towards going with Sutton in this grouping. Again, this is a good situation where we could have a nice bounce back game and a good matchup for Sutton and Russell Wilson. Next question from Shane, do I start Herbert or Dak Prescott? Moving on to the quarterback version of Herbert. And this is a really good one. This is a really good one because, it's not a good matchup for Justin Herbert, unfortunately. That San Francisco defense has been very tough, and they're getting a little bit more healthy. And when I look at Dak Prescott, now granted, the only difference here is that, Dak Prescott in that offense with Dallas should be able to run the ball and, dominate the game on the ground against Green Bay. So that's the only caveat here, but the ball should move very well up and down the field against that Green Bay defense. And I would still prefer to start Dak. I think it's the far safer option over Khalil Herbert. They're close, but I would prefer to go with Dak over Khalil Herbert. Then question from the RD Baron, 1972. Full PPR, Amari Cooper or Deebo Samuel. This one is an interesting question because as everybody knows, Amari Cooper has, he struggled on the road. And this is a road game, but it's a very good matchup road game. It's a very good matchup. I would hate to sit Amari Cooper in what could be the juiciest wide receiver matchup of the entire day. Like easily, when we're looking at this Cleveland and Miami game, this is a situation where this game could be could have such a high upside, and Amari Cooper would be a big part of that. So I hate to sit Amari Cooper over Deebo Samuel. I'm going Amari Cooper. Just the matchup is absolutely ridiculous. And then we'll get one more in here. Daniel Jones or Trevor Lawrence, full PPR to fill in for Kyler Murray. I would go ahead and go with Trevor Lawrence. Now, granted, I like these two quarterbacks this week. The safer floor is probably Daniel Jones, but their upside comes very similarly in terms of their rushing upside. And, the ball should be able to move fairly easily for Daniel Jones against that Houston defense. But I really, really like Jacksonville players in this game against Kansas City because as I talked about earlier in the live, I think what's going to happen here is Kansas City is going to be able to jump up on that Jacksonville defense. And Kansas City's defense is not very strong. So we get a situation where Jacksonville is going to be chasing points. And that's a good situation for Trevor Lawrence, for Travis Etienne, for Christian Kirk. It's a good setup for all these guys. All right, guys, we have reached 1 o'clock. It is time for kickoff. I wanted to thank you all for tuning in, and I wanted to remind you as well to make sure that you are following Fantasy Pros across all platforms, because we have content coming out all the time and live. So, stick around. You don't want to miss out on all this fantastic stuff. Hopefully I helped you today with your lineups, and hopefully you all go out and get wins. We'll see you again next week. Good luck